Trevor Bayne is on the outside in the 18. Noah Gragson on the inside in the 9. And we're about to get underway. The green flag is out here in Miami. Big run for Trevor Bayne through 1 and 2. He clears the 9 easily, and then Noah Gragson looks like he almost got loose. Gragson fighting back on the inside. We see the 1 of Sam Mayer using that high line early.
Automatically you see just how much of this racetrack they're going to use from the white line all the way to the wall, covered with cars.
Trevor Bayne went to the bottom of the racetrack. Noah Gragson was not expecting him to do that. As soon as he went down there, Noah had to jump to the 3rd lane, and that lost all his momentum, and now the cars behind him caught him. You're trying to guess where the guy in front of you is going, and you want to go where he's not. You can see the 9 car on the bottom. He's loose right now. See the back of the car moving around.
Daniel Hemrick in the 11, currently in the 4th spot right now, also searching around for a line to run. He goes to the bottom once again. Ty Gibbs a little lower, line through 1 and 2 in that shade. The shadow that's being cast now from the wall.
That 54 of Ty Gibbs, though, showed some maturity. Oh, we have
Into
a wreck.
wall. And the 66 and potentially the 98 of Riley Herbst.
Yeah, there's definitely damage on the left front of the 98. The Goodyear's missing on the tire.
So J.J. Yaley in the 66 with Work Pro, the onboard, getting into the wall, as did Riley Herbst, and the caution comes out. Look at all the damage to the right front.
Oh, heavy damage on this 66. A great qualifying effort for J.J. Yaley. Carla
Get
good
ready,
at
guys.
practice.
Grab on down, let's go, get everything ready.
4 wide. Oh, yeah, the 66 got hit by the 27, and that moved him up into the 98. So, I'm sorry, I just don't know that everybody knew that they were 4 wide in that situation.
That's exactly what it looks like. The 66, I think, exits, assuming the 27 is also going to move up. Here he is, picking up the throttle.
No hold. 2 top, 1 top.
Yeah, you heard no hole, then how many cars were above. This will be a great shot on board with the 98 of Riley Herbst. He's thinking he has a great run off the top. He's getting ready to pass 2 or 3 cars exiting turn 2, and all of a sudden the 66 shows up. You see the more frustration, right? Sometimes it's just a racing wreck, and that's a racing wreck right there. When you're 2 wide that turns into 4 wide, it's very easy to kind of lose track how much space you have to your right.
Yeah, you talked about it, a disappointing start. You know, J.J. Yaley qualified 14th. That was a good qualifying effort for that team, and now with all that damage, what a horrible way. Oh, lap 2, to have that happen.
Yeah, our 2 onboard cameras with Work Pro Tools and J.J. Yaley and Ford Performance with Riley Herbst involved in the first caution here at Miami, which means we'll have a restart when we return. For the first time, NASCAR fans can view every lap of NASCAR Cup Series races from inside the cockpit of any car they choose. Visit NASCAR.com/drive, or you can download the NASCAR mobile app for that vantage point. We're looking on Riley Herbst on board with the Ford Performance onboard camera. All right, Jeff, talk us through this replay one more time.
Well, let's go look. Watch the 66 of J.J. Yeley. Right, he's in the throttle trying to get going. Look at the car below him, how much ground he's making on him. JJ's in trouble right now, getting up the racetrack, gets into Jeb Burton, and now he's into Riley Herbst. All this contact started after he actually started getting loose and just had to chase it up the racetrack and just couldn't get the car slowed down to stay off of those cars on the outside of him. It just shows you how little grip this racetrack has. And even on new tires, it's still a challenge.
On the right side, Riley Herbst back on the racetrack, unfortunately on the left. J.J. Yeley going to the garage. You see the V right there? That is the choose. You got to go above or below it. You can't hit the box. And what this racetrack kind of has a little shimmer in the sun, so to the right, you see basically two orange triangles hanging off the fence. That's in line with that cone, so that'll help the choose kind of be a little bit easier to identify. It's easy to miss, or more importantly, run over, which you don't want to do. So there's also a reference on the fence. We'll keep an eye on it, see if anybody has an issue with that choose.
Let's listen into Allgaier's audio talking about that choose.
Thank you. As we come to the restart cone, just make sure and remind me it's super low here compared to normal. So to get to the bottom, you're going to have to go way down, because like as the sun's going down here, you're not going to be able to see it, especially later on. Yeah, that'd be no bueno.
So that's Justin basically saying that he feels like it's low, tells me it's farther off the outside wall than he expects. Hey, that's a veteran. Just staying on top of it with the spotter on the things he sees early in the race he's going to need help with.
That sunset in turn one is going to put a shine on the racetrack, and it's going to make it where you can't even see it.
Front row, similar to the start of the race, as Bain will be on the outside, Gragson on the inside for the restart. This time, Noah Gragson fires off a lot quicker than Bain. We'll see if he can clear him through 1 and 2.
Ty Gibbs taking advantage. Noah tried to make the bottom work, couldn't make it work. Ty jumped on the outside of him. Oh,
up
contact.
the racetrack, Mayer. Here comes the 16 now of A.J. Allmendinger, 3 wide. Top two pulling away, Bain and Gibbs.
Big defensive move by the 16 of Allmendinger. A clean move, but not going to be appreciated by the 21. It's going to kind of bottleneck up the bottom. And with that, that blue and black car, the one of Sam Mayer, is going to try to get a run on the top. How about Kyle Weatherman in that white and black with a little orange? That 34 car turns to the bottom of the racetrack, looking to find his way inside the top 5.
Kyle Weatherman driving for Jesse Iwuji, that race team.
Sam Mayer got at the racetrack right there, and actually I thought there was contact, but it wasn't. Daniel Hemrick saw it coming, turned the wheel to the right to get away from Sam Mayer, to avoid contact. Great job by Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, back of the cars look dancing around. We're hearing that's what the 9 of Noah Gragson's complaining about. Just super loose, super free. Can't really commit to the steering when the car's loose like that. Got to really guard against the back.
Weatherman now has cleared Hemrick, so the highest running in the top 5 between Weatherman and Hemrick. So Gibbs, Gragson, and Jones right now, the top 3 playoff drivers chasing after Trevor Bayne.
So Ty Gibbs trying to figure a way to get close enough to Trevor Bayne to take advantage. Trevor Bayne, this is his last race of the year, running a limited schedule, wants to get back full time in one of the NASCAR series. He's done a really nice job in this race car. Hasn't got a win. Had some looks at it, hadn't found a way, but in his last race of the year, he's wanting to make this happen.
On the top of your screen, the battle for the lead, you kind of see the blueprint of how to do it, right? The 18 picks a lane, and then the 54 tries to run just a little bit lower. You can see kind of that paving seam, the 18 maybe 2 or 3 feet off it, while the 54 is only a foot off it. Trying to keep that air on the nose of the 54 as he tries to run down the 18, the leader of Bain, Marty.
Racing all over the track, Steve, and yes, Jeff, correct on Trevor Bain, last race of the year. And Trevor said yesterday, I don't know, might be my last race ever. I have no idea. Not sure where the sponsorship situation stands for next year, but he wants to be here. He would love to run Xfinity Series full time, and he knows he can do it. He knows he can win races in this series. But Jeff, you know it as well as anyone. You have a son who races. If you don't have the sponsorship, you can't make it happen no matter how much talent you have.
Yeah, right now, I mean, Marty, you've got to show talent on the track. You also have to have sponsorship. It just all has to work together. See A.J. Allmendinger in that 16 car. I asked him before the race, how are you going to work yourself up through this field? Started 13th. Here he is running 5th. A great job by A.J. Now he's good. Now he's got track position. Now he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Now it's one car at a time.
The next one that he's getting to is the 11 of Daniel Hemrick, a teammate at Colleague Racing. But Austin Hill putting pressure on the 16. Hill all the way up to the back bumper of Allmendinger.
See, this is why passing at this racetrack is so difficult. Austin Hill is going to go to the bottom of the racetrack, just right around that white line. Allmendinger on the outside is going to get a big run right here. And now watch him down the back straightaway. He's actually going to clear Austin Hill.
As the 54 of Ty Gibbs looking to clear that 18 of Trevor Bain. Bain fighting back on the outside.
Well, the concern the 54 has right now is he looks better than the 18, but that was the move he was trying to make, and he needed to clear it because look, just behind him, the 9 of Noah Gragson has committed to the wall. Watch him enter this corner. Now this time in 1 and 2, he's going to run lower. That clean air, I guess he's close enough. He thinks the air is going to hurt. Every lap before this, he had been right on the fence, getting great momentum.
And that has been Noah Gragson's advantage here. He's been so good, kind of dominated races here, and he's gotten bitten by short runs. Late in the race, up there on the wall, he's willing to go there. He's comfortable there, and that's his advantage. Watch what happens on corner exit right here. And the later this run goes, that's when he's got the advantage. They're got to find a way, though, Steve, to have short run speed and couple it with this long run speed.
Now the 54, who was just on offense, is going to have to start thinking defense. I'm not sure he can leave the 9 car a full car width above him down here in 1 and 2. If he enters that same spot again, the 9's going to drive to his right rear quarter panel. Let's see if the 54 tries to run a little higher. He doesn't. He still leaves basically a car width, although now he's shutting the door. Momentum for the 9. Will he be able to turn underneath the 54? Not this time. Dave, what are you hearing on the 54?
So far, so good. And the thing you like about Ty Gibbs is his teachability. He knows he's never raced here before. He told the team before the green fell, if I do something I shouldn't do, or if I need to do something, don't hesitate to tell me. One of those things was, if you have a chance to take a spot, get up and take it, or you'll get freight train. Now, a freight train usually has more than 1 car, so we're not talking about just Noah Gragson, but when they're in a pack, if there's an opening, you have to get up there and you have to take it. Right now, he's trying to learn how to defend against something like what Noah Gragson's doing right here.
Big move by Noah Gragson right there. And that all happens on corner entry. Watch the difference. Watch the 9 car. Noah Gragson enters on the wall. The 54, Ty Gibbs, never been here before. He's afraid to enter on the wall because he's afraid he's going to make contact with it. If you're going to run the boards, you said it, Rick. The kids like to call it ripping the boards. If you're going to do it, you got to rip the entire corner. You got to commit to it on corner entry and do it all the way through the corner.
Momentum for the 9 now. Noah Gragson up to 2nd. Bain still leading here in Miami.
laps remaining here in stage 1. When it comes to playoff drivers, there's a slew of them there in the top 5, including the 21 of Austin Hill. Austin, the rookie, is the first driver below the cut line, 15 points below. I caught up with him yesterday. He told me this is their strategy here in regards to today's race. He said they have to make up as many points as possible. He's going to try to have as many stage points as possible to set him up nicely. If he does advance here to Phoenix, he can have himself in a nice spot there going into this cutoff race next week at Martinsville. But he's not stressed. For a rookie, he seems to be pretty calm when it comes to his first playoff run in the Xfinity Series. Given that he already has 2 wins this season, he's been incredibly impressive. And of course, a championship 4 appearance would do nothing but solidify a strong rookie year for that 21 car.
A new leader in Miami. Noah Gragson has made the pass on Trevor Bayne, and Gragson now trying to check out on the field.
Well, we saw his work on the 54 by running the top. Basically same story, different car. He worked and worked and worked on the 18. Finally got a big enough run where he could just turn left and really just drive right by him. He made it look way easier than it's supposed to be. And this is why. I mean, he's so good around the top. So you can see it down here. We go into 1 and 2, and the 18 kind of goes up and blocks a little bit. And I'm impressed with the 9, Jeff. A lane lower and still is able to get into the throttle.
But see that seam right where his left front tire is? That has the same amount of banking as Trevor Bayne was in. Below that has less banking. So Noah Gragson having the discipline not to run too low, trying to make that pass, running that higher lane was able to help him with that grip.
Yeah, so why not just run the wall and make it look easy? Watch this. The 2 of Sheldon Creed gets in nice and high. That's what you're looking at doing. And this is how easy it is, right? Just gets a little free maybe, gets up into the wall, damages the right rear of the car, ends up having a flat tire, had to come to pit road. The 2 now a lap down to the field.
Kim.
And he had been complaining before that he was just too on top of the racetrack. He was very comfortable running the wall yesterday, and maybe he's showing that today a little too comfortable. You saw him on that replay get into the wall flat right rear, and now he's going to have to play catch up here at Homestead. Marty?
We saw Trevor Bayne get passed by Noah Gragson. Did he give up the lead intentionally? Listen on the radio.
He's using up the wall behind you. If he catches me, I'll let him go. Anywhere at the end, I'll get him at the end.
There you go. How about that? Trevor Bayne saying, not worth it yet. I'll get him in the end. Noah Gragson, you guys did the report a moment ago saying the car very free. And Steve, that's exactly right on. We're right there in turns 1 and 2. He said it's way better. Well, what's the difference in 1 and 2? 1 and 2, Steve, shaded right now. So does that make a difference with the handling of the cars?
Shade for sure will cool the asphalt. That helps dramatically in 1 and 2. The other thing is the wind. There's a gigantic American flag at the back straightaway, and it is blowing from turn 3 straight down the backstretch. So in the middle of 1 and 2, I think it actually kind of tightens the car up, probably gives you a little bit more security, really helps the car as you turn into the wind. I mean, that's a gigantic flag that's basically at attention. Pretty serious gusts and pretty serious sustained wind.
Just saw Ty Gibbs get by Trevor Bayne for second place. Trevor Bayne, we heard him on the radio say it's not worth it yet, meaning he doesn't want to get up by the wall. He doesn't want to risk damaging his car, but other people are. And if you give up track position because you're not willing to do it, at some point, you have to do it. There's not an option. So he's going to have to make that decision of how he wants to run the rest of this race.
See Junior Motorsports cars lined up, the 7, the 1, and the 8. Kyle Weatherman still doing a wonderful job running just inside the top 10 in that 34 car. On the top of the screen, the 21 is going to dive to the bottom of the racetrack. Now the 10 of Landon Castle is thinking 3 wide. I kind of like that move. Let's not, old tires, nearly 30 laps on them. Let's go ahead and not put somebody in a bad position this early.
Trevor Bayne in the 18 a little bit closer to the wall that last lap.
Every spot matters. Stay focused here. You're better than these guys in front. Just figure out a way to get around.
Austin Hill's audio. Oh, and a big wiggle there. Was able to catch the back end of that car as it got very loose.
Better opportunity, I think, down here because of the shade that we just talked about. That means that the advantage on the top won't be as big down here. But it's he's so loose. Watch his hands. Look at the front windshield. I love white gloves. Look at the work happening. He's sideways loose. And every time you see the back of the car shake like that, that's hurting the tires, Steve, taking speed out of them. You got to drive them hard, but 15 laps to go in this stage. I think he's going to be all right, Dave.
He should be, Jeff, and every track that he goes to, he's making that translation from when he raced in the Truck Series. You mentioned the win in 19, and when he's racing in the Xfinity Series. So first Xfinity Series start here, he had to make that translation and try to know what this car would do. So far, so good. A top 10 qualifying effort, but right now, as you can tell, the car is not to his liking. They're going to need adjustments on this first stop, Kim.
And Justin Allgaier running in the 8th position after starting 20th, and he knew they had a better car than they qualified. He said he just got into 3 and 4 too low, should have run the top yesterday during his run, and he said he passed a bunch of guys in practice who qualified better than him. So he said there was no reason to think they could not score stage points, which they're on track to do right now if he holds the top 10 in the next 14 laps. He is complaining, though, entry and exit too loose, even the middle. In fact, every time he keys in to crew chief Jason Burdett, he complains about how free he is, especially the higher he gets.
Allgaier, this is one of the tracks that Allgaier just doesn't have a lot of success at. And I say that because the 39-year-old at virtually every track is either won, finished second, maybe third. Here, 6th is the best finish that Justin Allgaier has ever been able to put on his resume.
Yeah, some drivers just enjoy some tracks, and some drivers don't enjoy some tracks. You don't even really know why as a driver. Why am I good somewhere? Why am I not? See, Austin Hill just got passed by the 10 of Landon Castle. Just feel like the 21 of Austin Hill, his car is just not like he needs it to be. It's a little too loose. That battle with Trevor Bayne may have taken a little bit of life out of the tires, and now he's starting to pay the price.
Bottom of the screen, we see the 34, Kyle Weatherman, an excellent run here as he's still inside the top 10, fighting right now with Mayer for that 9th spot. Kim.
And the great weekend for Kyle Weatherman actually started yesterday. Had an 8th place qualifying effort, and that tied the organization's best ever starting position. He also did that back in August at Michigan. And I checked in with him this morning, and he said that qualifying effort is just a testament to the team's consistency. But he said, we have really good race speed, too. He said they felt like they had top 12 speed. A top 10 finish, though, would be a win for he and this team, currently holding that 10th spot.
We had reported how the 2 got into the wall of Sheldon Creed. Well, it's a black and yellow car, and he keeps popping in some of the camera views because he's driven through this group of cars right here. He's trying to go run the leader down to get his lap back the old-fashioned way as these 3 cars continue to battle. There's the 2 of Creed. He's now past the 54, the 2nd place car. He has about 4 seconds up to the leader and 11 laps to go get him. Now, fresher tires. So, you know, he has a chance, but it's going to be hard. Noah Gragson running some great laps.
Gragson crossing the stripe there. 36.84 was what he was able to run. And you mentioned Sheldon Creed, fresher tires, trying to make them work. Less than 10 to go here in Miami for stage 1. Noah Gragson out in front. He has a 5-second lead right now over Landon Castle, who's running in the second spot, Dave.
Talked to Chris Rice, team president for Colleague Racing, in that blue and white number 10, one of their cars here today. And he said, you know something? Landon Castle is the best out of our cars today. And I am serious. You would not believe it when you see him. And now I do believe it. Castle from a 16th starting position all the way up to second. And so, Rick, we're talking about short run speed. We're talking about long run speed. Watch out. Landon Castle not in the playoffs, but a great race car today, Marty.
Dave, when I talked to A.J. Allmendinger this morning, he told me confidence is low here at Miami. Maybe this first run here will give him a little more confidence. Started 13th up to 5th for A.J. Allmendinger. And Jeff, he told me this morning, I just have never had a taste for running the top of the racetrack. I've never gotten it. I've never understood it. So did you find in your career running the high line like A.J. is right now an acquired taste as well?
Marty, it is, and you've got to work with your team to get the car to drive the way you want to drive. You got to be willing to get up there and try some different stuff as a driver. You can't be hard-headed and not try different things, talk to other drivers. Whatever you got to do to learn how to do it, it is such an important part of racing here, and I think it makes you better at other racetracks as well. See AJ sliding around.
Coming up on 3 to go, and slow on the racetrack is the 91 of Mason Massey. We'll see if he gets up to speed. No, he slides. The 38 will slide. CJ McLaughlin. And so the caution will come out with just 3 laps to go.
Look, I had a blowout. It just like turned around on me.
So Mason Massey in the 91 was slow up against the wall. The caution comes out. He's going to come to pit road even though it's closed.
Yeah, you see the damage on the right side of the 91. That's, you know, the Darlington stripe now is the Miami stripe. We're going to see this a lot today. Let's take a look. So kind of hard to say exactly what happened. The right side tires look aired up. The 91's already slow, so we just see the 38 coming around. Kind of comes into the screen, darting to the right, then a correction back to the left. I'm not sure what created that sudden movement to the right.
Yeah, look how far down the straightaway he is.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I can't tell if he just made a movement. Some of the suspension at times can. This might have us a better idea. Let's see if we can see. There's the 91 into the wall. Car is going low to avoid.
Let's go back and look at this shot. I don't know. It's very odd. Very hard to understand what happened there. You heard him say on the radio the thing just came around on him. It surprised him that it came around.
Well, regardless of the cause, result the same. Not a lot of damage on the 38, but flat tires had to come to pit road.
So CJ, a 30-year-old out of Framingham, Massachusetts, going to get 4 tires on that 38. Again, pit road was closed, and it looks as though this will end stage 1, which is important for drivers like Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, A.J. Allmendinger, Austin Hill, all drivers looking for points. Sam Mayer is going to get points, finishing 8th. Allgaier will get a point, finishing in 10th. Again, at the end of every stage, top 10 drivers will get points, and a guaranteed 1 spot will get into the championship 4 based on points.
Yeah, regardless of how many winners we have. So, Jeff, you and I talked about Allmendinger and what had to happen today. And we thought it was closing that gap on Allgaier. Mission accomplished. 5 more points than him in the first stage. What looked like a 16-point deficit on the way in is getting closer and closer to single digits. So sometimes it's not flashy, but it's getting the business done.
Yeah, Brandon Jones, no stage points.
Sunday, a big day here in Miami. Sunday Night Football will be on NBC and Peacock. Steelers are going to face the Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium. That's less than an hour drive from the track. And as a matter of fact, we'll be joining the guys down there for Sunday Night Football coverage, beginning with Football Night in America at 7 p.m. Eastern. There's Hard Rock Stadium.
That is a sneaky good Miami team. I'm telling you, they are better than I expected for sure.
It's going to be fun to see Rick try to tackle those guys.
Saw Don Shula there, the statue of Dan Marino. A lot of great history here in South Florida. Cup race will be at 2 o'clock. Make sure to join us. Again, countdown to green, kicking everything off on NBC.
South Florida's the place to be this weekend.
It is.
Racing, football, that's a great weekend.
This will be the win for Noah Gragson of stage 1 as he will cross the stripe and get that green and white checkered flag.
So we saw him running really high right there, and as silly as it may seem, I don't think he's wondering where the wall is like we showed the one earlier. I don't know if he's riding around on these hot tires trying to pick up the debris up there, keeping it clean, not letting it get dusty and dirty. Or maybe Noah just being Noah, cruising around
That's
the top.
exactly what he's doing, because he said 3 and 4 is way too rubbered up to be this early in the race. So that's an old dirt track move, right? Riding up against the top of the racetrack. What he's doing on those hot tires, intentionally picking up rubber, cleaning off that lane because he knows he's going there.
Noah Gragson wins stage 1 under caution here in Miami. Getting ready for pit stops, and we'll restart stage 2.
Stage 1 is complete, and Noah Gragson is your Stage 1 winner. Good news for the 9 team. They're a few points closer there to locking in that Championship 4 spot. Bad news for the 9 team. Homestead statistically hasn't been great to its stage winners. When it comes to stage winners going on to get wins, that doesn't usually happen. In fact, we've only seen it happen one time. That was in 2017. Cole Custer swept all 3 stages for the win. So, just a fun fact to keep in the back of your mind. Noah Gragson still has 150 laps to rework that statistic.
NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Credit One Bank, a credit card company, and by Progressive Insurance. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers. Pit stop's about to get underway, Kim.
And Justin Allgaier worked his way into the top 10 after starting 20th in that purple 7 in your top left. Just way too loose on entry, exit, and even in the middle. For him, he said the higher I got up at the racetrack, the looser it got. And see that chassis adjustment, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, Dave.
Solid stage 1 for top right. Ty Gibbs at his first race here. Just a little previous chassis adjustment there to fix that, Marty.
4 fresh tires for Noah Gragson, which means so much here at Homestead, Miami. Said the car started so free. Then Luke Lambert said, I don't want to make too big of an adjustment. I think the track is going to change here. I think the 48 went with 4 tires there. AJ Allmendinger saying car just struggling on power down. He went from 13th to 15th in that stage. Nick Sanchez may have done a pass through there. Rick will follow up on that.
Yeah, probably an issue with the 48s. Landon Castle, the fastest, did tires off of pit road, able to beat Ty Gibbs off. with stage one complete, we take a look at the stage points earned. And again, the drivers in yellow, all playoff drivers, so very important if they want to advance to the championship four, grab as many points as they possibly can in stage one, stage two, and then look for that win, which is a guaranteed spot in the championship four. And for more on ripping the boards, we go to our young guys, KP and Junior, on the Peacock Pit Box.
All right, what have you seen so far, man?
Yeah, it's been fun watching these guys try to figure out where to be on this racetrack. I'm kind of surprised that there are actually some guys making passes on the bottom like Landon Castle. But we watch right here early in the race, the two of Sheldon Creed getting in the wall. He's going to come down pit road, lose a lap, almost got that lap back. The early caution prevented him from getting the free pass or wrestling his way back into lead lap. Later in the race, still some guys trying to figure out where to be on this racetrack and seeing guys slide around. I love that race. I love that about this racetrack, man. You really move around.
Yeah, I love this racetrack because you see the 9 car here ripping the boards. You see Gragson. But it's also, they can pass on the inside. We have seen Landon Castle make moves, straightaways, corners, wherever he wants to go, Rick.
And so for the restart, Landon Castle in the 10 and the 54 of Ty Gibbs making up row number 1. Austin Hill, and you can't pass until you get to the start-finish line. You got to stay in line. So green flag back in the air as front row is fighting for position. The 21, that's a little bit odd of what he just did there, Steve.
Everything I saw was messy on that restart. Something stacked up at the front. I'd have to see it again to see exactly what happened. Noah Gragson says, I'm not worried about the restart. I hit the top. I have momentum. I'm in second, looking for first down at this end. He's going to go right to the white line with a huge dive into the corner. This 9 car, folks, is impressive today. Can he clear the 54? He doesn't. He'll be too wide getting into 1.
This has been the weak spot for the 9 car down here for the last couple years. Tons of long run speed, but not able to have short run speed. But on this restart, they just showed they've got it today. I mean, I know Ty Gibbs is driving underneath him, but he's okay with that. He was able to clear him. This fight will continue on, but Noah taking off much better than what we've seen in the past.
From Sam Mayer in the 1, as well as A.J. Allmendinger in the 16, both getting by Landon Castle in the 10. And once again for the lead, a good run for the 9, but almost a block there by Ty Gibbs to stop that run.
Look at Noah, how far he drives in the corner. He's going to try to slide up in front of Ty.
I don't think he's going to try to slide. I think it's going to slide.
But look at the run Ty gets.
Yeah, the crossover by Ty Gibbs. And a little bit loose there of Noah Gragson coming off a 2.
Yeah, but this is what Noah wanted. Now he's going to side draft him, slow Ty Gibbs down, and now Noah's in the groove he wanted to be in all along. He was okay with the 54 getting underneath him because he didn't think he could clear him. So that slide job, even though it allowed the 54 to get underneath him, it gave Noah the preferred lane, and that's why he has the lead.
21's going to try to do the same thing, right? Rinse and repeat. Big drive into the corner. Now this time the 54 gasses it up. He's going to try to beat the 21 to his spot. The 21 chooses not to slide up. They're going to exit too wide. I think that was a little bit different move. 54 a little more defensive on entry speed, and the 21 a little less aggressive on the slide.
Yeah, I think that slide, Steve, the commitment to that starts on the entrance to turn 1. Like, you just got to say, I'm coming up here, and you're going to give me the spot. And Austin Hill wasn't willing to do that, but he was able to make the pass on turn 4.
Old-fashioned way, Rick,
yep.
Right around the white line.
Took the bottom of the racetrack to get by the 54. Now we'll see what he has for the 9 of Noah Gragson. Remember, Gragson had a 5-second lead over second place in that first stage, and here comes the 21. What a run we're seeing out of Austin Hill.
What a corner in 1 and 2. Rolls right around the white line. Usually loses momentum on exit. He drives right to the door of the 9. He's going to try it again at this end. Look at him. Oh, he's loose, so he is chasing the back of that car.
But he clears him. Hill in front here in Miami.
Don't give Noah the outside right here. Take his line away from him. Austin Hill confident that the bottom is faster, goes to the bottom. I thought he might want to take Noah's line away from him, but Austin just says, you know what, I'm faster than you. You know, whatever you want, I'm going to run the bottom.
Remember, their momentum comes on corner exit from running that middle lane by 2.
Great information from Derek Nealon, the spotter on the 21. Okay, you got the lead. Now save your tires. Now drive differently. You got real aggressive. You got a long run left. Let's try to keep the lead, but let's don't destroy the tires doing it.
Jeff, I got to give you credit. At the open of this show, We talked about who were the ones to watch, and I talked about the 9 because he was the low-hanging fruit. Everything he's done here is so good. It was obvious he was the guy. But you brought up this 21 of Austin Hill. I'm not sure what exactly you saw, but whatever it was is on display right here as he leads.
Dave.
What in Atlanta, and Richard Childress kind of said, yeah, that's my super rookie. I think that's what we're seeing out of Austin Hill here today. And on that stop, he needed his team to make some adjustments for him. The car was too free on the throttle. In fact, he called it spinning my tires. That's something you certainly don't want to have happen anywhere. And here at Miami, that can be a real problem. So they made adjustments. Austin Hill took the lead, Marty.
Boy, Dave, this racetrack at Homestead, Miami is so much fun. Noah Gragson trying to hang on to the second spot there. So, Steve, an interesting conversation between Gragson and his crew chief, Luke Lambert. Gragson wanted a really big change because he felt like they gave up too much speed on the front end of the run. But Lambert said, you know what? No, I think the track's going to change a little bit here. So how much of your day as a crew chief is balanced by what your driver's telling you versus where you think the racetrack is going in the next stage?
Your entire day, especially when you run at these later afternoon, the sun will continue to set, the track will continue to change. You got to kind of give the driver what he thinks he wants through kind of the math of where you think the track is going. 16 makes a run underneath the 54. 54, Ty Gibbs defends. Man, this place is racy.
It's so much fun to watch.
See one of Sam Mayer. Look at the inside of Landon Castle now, trying to take that spot away.
How about the 19-year-old figuring it out? Miami for the first time up here, dueling.
And needs a great run. Sam Mayer in a position where needs to gain as many points as he can possibly gain before he gets to Martinsville next week.
I love what I saw out of the one right there. He did not kind of get pulled into running the middle. He ran his line, lifted early, got it to the wall. Now, will it pay off? I don't know. He lost the spot to the 10. I thought he would have a bigger run on exit, but I liked kind of the mature entry of that one car. He's going to do it again right here, right on the wall.
Dave.
And his crew chief, Taylor Moyer, believes that this car, the black and blue #1, is better on the long run. So he wants his driver to, quote, hang out from laps 2 through 10 in a run before he starts getting really aggressive. Maybe like this, down to the inside in turn 1.
Rewind. Poor position up the racetrack. The one came. But Landon Castle also drifted up almost all the way to the wall.
That was a perfect pass by Allmendinger right there. He had great forward momentum. Overdrove the entrance in turn 1, took the spot from Ty Gibbs. You see Trevor Bayne on the bottom. He didn't have enough forward momentum to slide Castle, but Castle having trouble with grip in the middle of the corner, and Sam Mayer trying to get on the outside. This 10-car Castle is struggling right now.
Yeah, and Sam Mayer, I'm sure, is very frustrated. Has a faster race car, but had to slow down there to avoid contact with the 10.
Look at Sam Mayer. First time here. He says, I can do it. I'm up here on the boards. Look at me doing a good job.
Remember, he practiced this before the green flag. Got right up next to the wall during the pace laps.
So he's going to try the same thing down here. The 10 car gave him about a car width last time and almost gave him too much room. The one's going to try to gas it up and fill that spot to the outside of the 10. He won't get there, but he should have enough momentum to clear the 7 down the straightaway.
Another Junior Motorsports car. As Sam Mayer able to get by Allgaier, but Allgaier now throwing it down low.
Yeah, Kelly and Dale Jr. have to love what they're seeing out of this one car. Sam Mayer returning next year, only 19 years old, made the playoffs, has yet to win a race, but I think we all are just wondering when it's going to happen. Not if, but when. And you see at the top, the battle for the lead, that theory of not adjusting the 9, it will be better on the long run. It looks like the 9 is closing back in on the 21, although don't look, A.J. Allmendinger is in the picture.
Trevor Bayne, he lost some spots on pit road, lost 4 spots, trying to work himself back up through the field. That white car on the bottom of the screen on the outside lane, he just can't get by Ty Gibbs. He's faster than Ty, but can't find a way around him.
There's racing everywhere. Top of your screen, bottom of your screen.
The different lines here at Miami proving to be a great recipe for great racing as we see the surge out of the 18 of Trevor Bayne, trying to keep that momentum up. Everyone still continuing to chase the 21 of Austin Hill. He was able to get by the 9 of Noah Gragson, who won stage 1, and now it's Austin Hill out front. He's been out there for over 10 laps already. make sure to download the official app of NASCAR. You can follow the action with free live scoring and car cameras, as well as radio broadcasts. Search NASCAR in your app store to download and start a free trial. As we see the High Rock number 8 of Josh Berry on pit road. He got into the wall, and it's okay though, because he's guaranteed a spot in the championship four, Marty.
Rick, that's the advantage of winning and knowing you're already in the championship four. We talk about Homestead, Miami is a extremely high risk, high reward racetrack. The risk is you're going to have this contact with the wall. The reward is all that speed up there, but there you see the contact, Jeff. Easy to do when you're running inches from the wall.
It is easy to do, Marty. I'm okay with that. Listen, he's in next year. He's in the playoffs. We know he's coming back to drive this 8 car next year. Learn how to run the boards. Even if you make a mistake, see a battle right here for the lead. Noah Gragson, another slider to go up in front of Austin Hill.
But here comes Hill trying to do the crossover and get back next to the 9 of Noah Gragson.
All right, are you going to return the favor?
Down to the bottom of the racetrack, and this time not far enough in front of that 9, and so Austin Hill is going to lose the lead to the 9 of Gragson.
That is where Noah has separated himself in this Xfinity field. His willingness to do things to make a pass. When he gets to you, he is going to take the battle to you. He's going to go do everything he can to take the lead. He's going to put you in a bad situation, make you decide to lift or not. Austin Hill wasn't willing to do that. Now, Austin Hill in a point situation, right, having a good day, may not be in the position to do that. But that is where Noah has done such a great job in the latter part of his Xfinity career of knowing how to make passes.
I really think it's the first third of the corners where Noah's so impressive. He can run right against the wall. He can drive right to the bottom. To your point, Jeff, there's a confidence with this entry speed that I'm not sure we see with other drivers.
So Gragson back out in front. He already had led 30 laps. Now he's going to start adding to that number. Great first stage for Noah Gragson as he won stage 1. 18 laps to go still here in stage 2 of the Contender Boats 300 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Get a few updates from pit road. We'll start with Marty on the 16.
Yeah, Rick, this race clicking by. A.J. Allmendinger sitting in third after losing 38 points in one race. The regular season champ came in below the cut line. Right now you see -3. We talked about in the pre-race, A.J. needed to stay calm on the radio all day long. He's done that. Listen in.
Kind of dived at the bottom. Definitely got pretty good drive off. So I think if anything, drive off is just where we need to be a little bit better. Doing good, man. I'm proud of you. Thank you.
That was before the last stop. A.J. Allmendinger, Dave, has driven it from 13th to 3rd right now, doing what he needs to do today.
Ty Gibbs runs 5th. He finished the stage 3rd and got 8 stage points, which is what they needed to do entering today, plus 25. What did crew chief Chris Gale think?
Good solid start there. You were really good managing that, had good pace without a lot of risk. We finished in front of everybody we needed to finish this stage.
There you have it. Lots of pace and not a lot of risk taken by Ty Gibbs. That can make a solid day, Kim.
And not a great day for playoff contender Brandon Jones. Despite starting 5th, finished outside the top 10 in the first stage, garnering no stage points, and that's because the car was just way too loose. In fact, Brandon said he was barely hanging on. They made some significant adjustments after stage 1, but the car still does not have the speed, especially up against the wall. In fact, crew chief Jeff Mendry came on the radio about 3 or 4 laps ago and told Brandon, stop running the wall, run what makes the car feel best. Right now you see Brandon Jones about where he was during practice yesterday, a car length away from the wall. We'll see if that helps him, but they just don't have this long run speed.
Unfortunate, because we've seen so many drivers with the successes. Saw a little bit of smoke there, maybe coming out of the 39. The 2 of Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, he has been on pit road once with damage on the right side in the middle of stage 1. He had a flat right side. Now it looks like flat rights again. Yeah, absolutely.
Right rear.
It's hard to tell if you got to the wall again. Looks at the Goodyear missing on the tires. I would say yes, but there was already so much damage. So learning a lot about running the top here at Miami. Unfortunately has found the wall a couple times. And this is kind of a double whammy, because not only are you using time, but you're losing sets of tires. He was already 1 set of tires down out of the field. Now they're going to put just rights on right here, try to go out and try to persevere and save one lap.
Some of that rubber was on fire there in the right front when they were changing. We see Allgaier working to the outside of the 11 of Daniel Hemric. And so Allgaier currently running in the 8th position. Noah Gragson continues to lead here in Miami. After 45 years, Halloween, the most acclaimed and revered horror franchise in film history, reaches its epic, terrifying conclusion. Laurie Strode faces off for the last time against the embodiment of evil, Michael Myers, in a final confrontation unlike any captured on screen before. It's in theaters and streaming only on Peacock now. And what a day it has been already, Kim, for Chandler Smith in this 26 car running in the 10th spot.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get a Toyota driver update on Chandler Smith playing double duty. Ran the truck race earlier this afternoon. Will compete for a championship come Phoenix for he and his team on that side. But this weekend, it's his first time in Miami, period. Not just his first time racing Homestead Miami Speedway. He had never visited South Florida prior to this weekend. So I asked him kind of what his expectation was in his third Xfinity Series start. And he said, I think a lot of people will be sleeping on he and this team with what they have in the Xfinity car. His goal, though, to complete all the laps. That's the first goal. He's looking at the bigger picture. I was actually impressed that he was thinking ahead. He'll be full-time next year and wants all the track time in the Xfinity car he can get. Next year, he'll be running in the number 16 car. Outside of that goal of competing all the laps, he did say he feels like they have the speed to run top 10, which they're doing right now, currently in the 9th position.
During that report, the 34 of Kyle Weatherman had to make a unscheduled trip to pit road. Looked like some right side damage on the 34. Very unfortunate. Great qualifying effort and was running inside the top 15 for the entirety of the race up until this point.
We're focusing on this 26. Remember, Chandler Smith running for a Truck Series championship, only 20 years old, out of Georgia, and just went by the 7, the veteran Justin Allgaier.
Grew up racing quarter midgets, moved on to super late models. Worked himself to the Truck Series, Xfinity Series full-time next year.
Chris Wright in the 68, just in front, but he's 3 laps down, as we see now Ryan Sieg in the 39.
He's slow. This is getting into turn 3.
That's the access road.
Yep.
It's flat.
So 2 flats on the 39, the 34 of Weatherman back on pit road. I'm not sure if he had an issue. Let's hear
We're
what
okay, but it's flat.
let's listen to what the 7's talking about.
I'm not so sure I don't have a tire going down, buddy.
So potentially a tire issue for Allgaier.
Well, he's going really slow on the exit of the corner. I think he's coming to pit road as well. He's going to go right by the 39, who's almost rolled to a stop right here. The 7 of Allgaier with 4 to go. Got to come to the attention of his crew, and it looks to me like the right side has definitely come apart on that 7 car, Kim.
And the last time they made a stop, they did have cording on the right front, but he told the team on the radio, you guys didn't hear it, that he did get into the wall. He said ever so slightly. So right now, Justin Allgaier on pit road to get those fresh right side, and now it looks like they're actually going to change all 4. Will likely stay out after the stage end and just take their stop right now.
You see a little bit of fire burning in the right front from that wheel that had unwrapped and wrapped around the brakes. I would normally say that should go out, but in the next gen car, we've seen these things flare up, so we'll keep an eye on the 7. The 39 gets pushed behind the wall. Lots happening with 3 to go in the stage, Rick.
Yeah. Yes, a lot happening. So Allgaier, again, one of the drivers that's fighting for every point he can get, and this is not going to help. Now he's a lap down and not in the position to get the free pass. As Sam Mayer working his way by Ty Gibbs.
I think, though, that with the 7 car, he won't have to pit when the caution comes out, so he should get back in the lead lap.
Yeah, I'll take the wave around, but unfortunately then he'll have a little bit older tires to start the final stage, but still have a chance. This racing, I mean, look at this battle right here between the 1, the 54. I think that's the 10 of Castle right behind him. The sun's starting to get so low, there's almost a little bit of glare and reflection, even off the cars on our screen. On the left side, you see there's the 8. We wondered if this would happen. He's just drove by the 9 of Noah Gragson to unlap himself after his extra trip to pit road. Look at the top 10, though. Gragson, Allmendinger, Hill. But how about there towards the bottom? We talked about Smith, a great update. Stephen Parsons in 10th, continuing to impress. Great runs out of Stephen.
Yeah, the team, you know, not as funded as a lot of the teams out here, and Stephen Parsons continues to put together great performances. We've talked about him quite a bit over the last month, as it will be a clean sweep, stage 1 and stage 2 going to Noah Gragson. This time he ended up winning the stage by 3.5 seconds over Allmendinger. Austin Hill finishing in 3rd. Vervain, Sam Mayer rounding out the top 5. Ty Gibbs was 6th. Castle, Hemrick, Chandler Smith, and Stephen Parsons rounding out the top 10. So Noah Gragson, 16 stage wins already this year. That now is double the amount of any other driver in 2022. A dominant performance already for Gragson. NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Ford. Built Ford proud. Northern Tool and Equipment. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com. We're made for this. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Drivers earning points in stage 1 and stage 2. Gragson winning both. Gained 20 points. Allmendinger 15. Other playoff drivers needing the points. Austin Hill grabbed 13. Gibbs 13. Sam Mayer got 9. Allgaier only 1 point. That was in the first stage. In this last stage, a lap down. So he'll have to stay out to get back on the lead lap. And those pits taking place right now, Kim.
Brandon Jones, top left, wrecking loose to fire off. In fact, just free entry exit, tight in the center as he comes down to get his service. Dave, Austin Hill is in front of you.
Austin Hill in the blue 21 says, I can't get back to the throttle as hard as I need to, starting at the center of the corner. We'll try to make a change, said Andy Street, the crew chief. We'll make it better for you, Marty.
Max points so far for Noah Gragson. Said the car fired off better, but he needs more early in the run, just a little bit too free, and better turn at the end of the run. What run for A.J. Allmendinger. He said the car much better handling-wise, started to feel tight at the end of the run. Look at the drag race off pit road, and that's a tight one between Austin Hill and Noah Gragson. Photo finish, there you go. Noah Gragson barely clips the 21, Rick.
Able to stay up front, gaining a spot. Austin Hill, Allmendinger losing a position. The official app of NASCAR Tracks lets you stay up to date on the latest race and event information from all of your favorite tracks. Search NASCAR Tracks in the App Store to download for free, and you can start using today. 2 stages are complete, and let's go to the Peacock pit box with KP and Dale Jr.
Yeah, it's been a pretty awesome race down here, always is at Homestead. Let's take a look at the Northern Tool and Equipment recap here as we start the day. Already a little contact early in the race, Kyle. Too many cars trying to fit in one place at one time off turn 2.
You see J.J. Yaley get a little bit loose. He gets right across the hood of Burton there and into the 98 car. So it's just tough racing right there, close racing.
Yeah, we got a span right here, 38 car. I think he's trying to actually avoid the slower car of Massey down the back straightaway. Massey really slow in the outside lane.
And Josh Berry gets in the wall here and has a flat right rear. Does a great job of keeping this thing under him at this time.
Yeah, these old cars are pretty tough, but the tires still matter. If you get in the wall too much, you're going to flatten those tires. Here's Allgaier coming down pit road, unwound the tire. Too much abuse on that right front.
And that's the second one that we've seen. And at the end of stage 1, he had one that had unwound, and that one was just That was costly right there. That
Yeah,
was.
I think if you're him, you got to back it off just a little bit. Take care of that right front tire over the long haul, guys.
Yeah, Allgaier took the wave around, and so he'll be on the lead lap. He scored 22nd right now.
So now, Rick, with 105 laps to go, you can't make it on fuel, but there is a little bit of debate in the garage area whether this is a one-stop, pretty standard, you run halfway, pit, put some fuel and tires on and run the other half, or if what we saw at Richmond earlier in the year, do you pit at extra time? Do you run like only 35 laps, pit 35 more?
And look at the 7 of Allgaier. What can he salvage out of this? Right now he's got a little bit older tire than the rest of the field. He's got to just get himself through this stage till the caution comes out.
Gragson on the outside. Austin Hill on the inside. Green flags back in the air. A.J. Allmendinger blocking the run by Ty Gibbs. Sam Mayer immediately going up to that higher line. Trying to get the momentum up as they go down the backstretch.
Trevor Bayne, the outside right behind Noah. He's got himself back up to the front. Let's see if he can stay there.
Hill once again side drafting off the 9 of Noah Gragson. Going into turn 1. Gragson way down the racetrack.
So this is what we've seen so far. Austin Hill seems to have a little bit better takeoff speed. See the back of the Noah's car moving around a lot. This is where Austin Hill's got to get aggressive. He just got to take this spot from Noah.
Dives into turn 3. Will he slide up the racetrack in front of the 9? He stays down against the white line. Now coming off the 4, up in front, back at the lead here at Miami.
So Steve, right now, if I'm driving that 21 car of Austin Hill, I know that that 9's been better on older tires. So I need you telling me, hey, bud, you only got to lead by 1 car length.
Right.
Take it easy on these tires right now. See Trevor Bayne getting by Noah also.
This is the 9's concern, though. Noah mentioned earlier, hey, I think we need to adjust our car. The crew chief thought the track would change. There's no doubt who's best on old tires, but will he be around or close enough to the lead to make him work, although he's already back on the offense on the 18 car.
How about that yellow car, the 19 car? Brandon Jones picked up a lot of spots on that pit stop. They haven't run well today. Needs to take advantage of this track position.
Allmendinger dives to the white line in that 16, and he was getting a lot of pressure from Sam Mayer in the 1 as the battle up front heating up now. Here comes Trevor Bayne. Bayne to the bottom of the racetrack.
But not willing to drive in the corner with a lot of speed and slide Austin Hill. But they're still going to come side by side off turn 4. Now what does Trevor Bayne do? What's the attitude getting into turn 1?
Stays on the white line. Austin Hill in the 21, middle of the racetrack. He'll lose the lead now to Trevor Bayne.
Trevor Bayne didn't need attitude. He just has a faster race car right now. Put the left sides on that white line and just simply was faster than Austin Hill.
Now Noah Gragson half a second behind Trevor Bayne out front as Hill looks both inside and outside for the lead. Dave.
And Rick, Austin Hill in that blue 21 has a lot going on as he comes off of turn 4. Really hard to see down the front straightaway, so he's using the wall as a guide, not hitting it. Also, he's having a little trouble with his brakes. Listen.
Like brake pedal for some reason it's just like squishy this week. Like as I run, it just kind of gets real squishy on me, but the brake pedal's there. I just feel like I have to maybe pump it twice, like before I go into each corner to make sure that it's not too long.
You've heard the old phrase, pump the brakes. Well, that's where it comes from. He has to do it to make him work, Marty.
Dave, pretty much all day long, Trevor Bayne has been the best non-playoff driver. Now in the lead, but is there a problem with the 18? Listen.
I don't know what's going on. Got my driver fan off, and I'm back to 12 3/4 on both, but if I turn it on, it goes red instantly.
So, Steve, a lot of talk about voltage issues. He says when he has everything on inside the car, it reads 12.5 volts. The second he turns on his driver fans, and there you see the backup battery ready to go for Jason Ratcliffe into the 18 if he needs it. When he turns on those driver fans, it goes down to 12 volts. A moment ago, he said to Jason Ratcliffe, Trevor Bayne said, what's the minimum amount of volts I need to operate the car? He said 11.5. Right now, they're sitting at 12. Can it last the entire race? That's the question.
Yeah, and I hate this information for the 18 of Trevor Bayne, but that driver comfort, that driver fan, if there's any way he thinks he can survive the day without it, we're going to have to shut all those things off, try to get that battery to survive as long as possible. 104 laps complete here. We still got a 97 to go.
Trevor Bayne a couple laps ago was almost a half a second faster than everybody else. And I'm up here, Steve, looking at you doing slow down,
Yes.
like save these tires.
But we don't know, as I mentioned, there are some teams that talked about pitting twice. And if that's the case, you only have to run about 30 laps on this, 35 laps on this set of tires. So it is go, go, go. That would be an aggressive call, but Trevor Bayne doesn't really have much to lose. Landon Castle, Hemrick, I'm looking at the names running inside the top 10 that aren't looking for great points days. They're looking for wins.
And look at this 8 car right there, the Hirai Vodka car. He jumped trying to get on the outside of the 10 car. Remember, we just saw him get his lap back right before the end of that stage, and now here he is battling for a top 10 position. Little things in a race, Steve, make such a difference.
Yeah, getting the lap back the old-fashioned way by passing the leader versus taking the wave around or the free pass that actually puts you farther back in the field on the restart. Nate, he hit the wall earlier, but man, he's still up there learning.
He's not scared.
Right up against it as Brandon Jones drifts up in front of him. And he will go to the inside. So Josh Berry trying to get 2 for 1 here as he goes by Landon Castle as well in the 10 and then drifts up the racetrack in front of him.
Are we watching Josh Berry become the favorite for this championship? He dominated last week. I just feel like there's so much momentum right now with Josh Berry and confidence starting to build. And being able to drive this car at its limit every single lap. And Dale Jr. willing to say, hey, go get you some.
Yeah.
Right? If you wreck, whatever, drive with full aggression. That has freed Josh Berry up. Marty.
We talked to him on Wednesday on NASCAR America Motor Mouse, and he said, man, I'm enjoying this week. I feel so free right now. So that allows him to run a little bit higher groove here and a little bit more aggressive today. Talk to Mike Bumgardner, Steve, and it's very interesting how teams will kind of manage their car rotation, right? The car that won last week is the car that has all their wins this year. He wanted to turn it around for Phoenix, said, man, we just can't make it happen. And remember, Josh Berry finished 3rd at Phoenix in the spring. So yes, Jeff, maybe the answer to your question is Josh Berry could be the favorite. Who knows when they get to Phoenix in 2 weeks.
And how about the car right in front of Josh Berry? That 9 of Noah Gragson led so much today, 55 laps in total. We expected him to maybe be a little bit vulnerable in the restart, but now he's all the way back in the 4th position and even 12 laps into this run. Now, although now it looks like maybe it's going back the other way. That was a pretty good set of corners for the 9, but he's got a long ways to go, over 2 seconds behind the leader, Trevor Bayne.
It's the 5th time Noah swept the stages in a race, but he's failed to win the prior 4. Can he change that statistic today? And let's take a look at the Ruoff Mortgage Keys to Victory Lane.
Yeah, long final stage. Are you going to try to do it on one stop, traditionally how it's done, or maybe a couple stops for something different?
And the thing you can't predict, Steve, when will we see cautions? How does that change everybody's strategy? Who knows when to pit at the right time?
And who can run the boards? Who can run the top? Everybody's trying it. Some are better than others. But when it's crunch time, Rick, and everybody tries to go just a little bit harder, who will overstep and find that wall?
Take a look at the point standings. Again, with the win, Barry locked into the championship 4, even though having a great run here, currently running 5th. But Gragson accumulating a lot of points today, plus 49. Gibbs plus 20. Austin Hill above the line now. The tie between Hill and Allmendinger right at the line. Allgaier a little bit of a struggle today, minus 11. Jones and Mayer 32 and 34 points behind that cutoff line. Let's go through the field of the playoff drivers. We'll start with Dave.
And Rick, we saw Ruoff Mortgage Keys to Victory Lane, and the last one run the boards. Who will do it? Well, Austin Hill isn't being encouraged to do it, but he's being told that the one place that he is not going as well as the car behind him trying to pass him is right there, entering the corner. So we'll see how he manages it here. They love this kid because he's such a learner. We'll see if he can learn Homestead today, Marty.
Dave, after losing all those points last week, many wondered this week if A.J. Allmendinger had a path to the championship 4 without a win. Was there a points path? The answer, yes. Look at what he's done today. Right now, squarely on the cut line with his best mile-and-a-half race in recent memory, trying to get second from Austin Hill right now. He's pretty quick, but not as quick as Noah Gragson right behind him. As soon as Gragson moved up, we've seen this story all day long, moves up higher later in the run. The 9 car is the one to beat, trying to make the championship 4 for the second straight year. And who won Phoenix in the spring? Noah Gragson. Behind him his teammate Josh Berry. And for Berry, he told me earlier this week, we have all the pieces here. All we have to do is execute. When we had our rough races in the summer, it was execution. That's what it came down to. So even though we're in the championship 4, we can't let down our guard. Showing that today, running in the top 5. But remember, Dave, they are one set down to everybody else on pit road.
Before his second pit stop, Ty Gibbs reported to his team, way loose. Whatever we did, that didn't work on the first stop. We have no lateral drive. He's not happy with it now. He doesn't think it's a race-winning car right now, but he's reminded that they've got one more shot to work at, maybe 2, depending on what happens with pit stops here. As for Sam Mayer running next in the 1 car, he's done a good job today. Sam is one of the younger drivers on the circuit. He is being told to keep doing what he's doing because the way that he has learned Homestead today, he certainly has put it to good use, Kim.
And Brandon Jones currently in the 11th position. He had found himself in the top 10 for the first time after finishing outside the top 10 in both stage 1 and stage 2, but continues to kind of plummet down the board. They've incrementally tried to make that car better. It's just really free on entry and exit, tight in the middle, and they don't have the long run speed they need, but they knew that this morning when I talked to crew chief Jeff Mendering. He said, we have short run speed. That has been where we have been competitive all season long. So the perfect scenario for this 19 team would be for this final stage to go green, then get a late race caution, a short run at the end, because they feel like their short run speed is some of the best in the series. And a tough day for Justin Allgaier. He currently runs in the 18th position. Miami has been his Achilles heel. He has never finished inside the top 5 here. Looks to be, as he runs, it's going to be another instance of that. He's had some right front tire issues. At the end of stage 1, they noticed cording on the right front. Although he was able to stop at the end of the stage, that's not problematic. It became problematic right before the end of stage 2. He had to come down again, cording on the right front, and they don't necessarily think it's because he got into the wall. They think it's likely setup situation with where he was running on the racetrack, because before we went green on this stage, they said try and stay away from the bottom line. We think it's a setup combination with where you're running that's causing those right front issues.
Noah Gragson has moved up to the 3rd spot, so it's Bain, Hill, Gragson, and Allmendinger, and it's heating up here at the front.
Yeah, we talked about Noah Gragson, how good he is right now at making passes. Look how he passes A.J. Allmendinger. They've had a really tight battle. Watch what he does down the front straightaway. Has some forward momentum, but not a lot. But watch him drive in the corner. Just completely overdrives the corner, fully committed, full send, and now he's got the spot. And A.J. Allmendinger wanted to run the top. Even if he could have crossed him over here, there was no sense in trying because the 9 car of Noah had the preferred spot. That is where Noah is just better than everybody else in the series right now at making those passes.
Yeah, what's amazing is you got to do it again. You got to catch it live. This is so easy to overcook and hit that wall right there. But he backs it right up to that fence and gets right back in rhythm. That's what the impressive part is. You know, over driving, I can understand that, but not hitting the wall, very impressive.
So let's see what Noah's doing. Where's the advantage in speed? We saw him pretty far back from Trevor Bayne, but he has run him down. There's Trevor Bayne the lead, and this has happened in the last 6, 7 laps. Watch right here. Watch what Noah Gragson do. All you young drivers, this is how you rip the boards. Enter the corner. Look at him. He's right on it. He's 2 feet away at the most entering the corner, and that allows him to just carry so much speed. And at this racetrack, that is how you have to do it. Not everybody is willing to make the risk to do that. If you make a mistake with that eye entry, you're going to make contact. Noah Gragson's fully committed to it and fully confident that he can make it work.
And Jeff, there's no question he is the quickest car by a bunch on the racetrack. But Steve, here's my question. If you're Luke Lambert, is he going to try to get the lead here from Trevor Bayne? Do you feel like you have to make a decent size adjustment? Because it takes 20 laps for this 9 car to come to life as he goes to the lead right there around Bayne very easily. Do you feel like you need to make an adjustment on that last stop to be better on the front end of the run?
I wouldn't worry about the front end of the run under a green flag condition. I think some of it is under a restart, you're under attack, Rick. You have to run the bottom. You have people all around you. I believe going out there in clean air under green, it will take less time for that 9 car to fire off. So I would be very hesitant to make a big adjustment on that 9.
Watch the 9. Look at the gap he has created to Trevor Bayne. This all happened in the last 10 laps, Rick, where Trevor Bayne was kind of dominating this race. Noah Gragson just ran 3/4 of a second faster. 3/4 of a second. And he is completely driving away from Trevor Bayne right now.
I know this is crazy, but when I watch this 9 car do this, I just see Tyler Reddick. Right? I mean, he's a champion in both Junior Motorsports and RCR in the Xfinity Series. And this is what Tyler Reddick looked like at this racetrack. He ran higher than everybody on entry, faster than everybody on old tires. And Noah Gragson seems like the next guy. I only say that because that's where Noah's going next year, the Cup Series, and it's going to be exciting to see how good Noah is next year at the Cup level.
It was methodical what he did. He was running in the 4th position and almost lap after lap passed 3rd, passed for 2nd, passed for the lead, and now we've got the 16 putting pressure on the 18.
You mentioned Noah Gragson's ability and how you compared it to Reddick. Dave Ellens, crew chief, came down here, let them both rip the wall, learn how to do it, give him a ton of credit.
Gragson out front here in Miami, 73 laps to go.
Laps complete here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Running in the 5th position, the 8 car of Josh Berry managed to rally back after a little contact with the wall there earlier in stage 2. Josh, the only playoff driver who is sitting comfortably today, already locked into that championship 4, and in his first year of eligibility at that. Now, Josh has been with Junior Motorsports since 2010 in the late model program. And when you combine the number of wins that Josh has with a late model with the 4 that he's managed to get for Junior Motorsports here in the Xfinity Series, 5, excuse me, in the Xfinity Series when you count that one last week at Vegas, he is sitting at 99 total wins for JRM. So at this point in the year, not only is Josh Berry living the dream, chasing an Xfinity Series championship, but he's also chasing win number 100 for the team that's giving him his start.
Tomorrow on NBC, the NASCAR Cup Series. Playoffs continue with another chance to secure that spot in the championship 4 with a win here in Miami. Race coverage beginning at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Countdown to green at 2 o'clock. And remember, we will hear everyone's reaction. 1:30. We'll hear everyone's reaction to the Bubba Wallace suspension, as well as Joey Logano live with Dale Jr. and Jeff Burton. And a very interesting Chase Elliott show and tell. You won't want to miss that as we continue to see Noah Gragson pull away from the competition here after getting the lead.
Can't wait to talk to Joey Logano tomorrow in front of the grid. My man's going to walk in here happy. He knows he's going to Phoenix with a chance to win the championship.
It's always fun talking to the happy drivers. See on the bottom left, race strategy, that 2 pit stop window. I think it's basically open, 68 to go. Maybe they'll wait a little bit longer to make sure they're in their 1-stop window to be a little bit safer, but I think you could pull it off from this point. This would be kind of breaking the last run up evenly. What you want to do is, if you wait 3 or 4 more laps and you are caught by a yellow Rick, then you could take the wave around and make it to the end of the race on fuel. So you got to kind of hedge your bets, but the math says right now is when the window opens to have the best use of your Goodyear tires.
So Steve, how do you decide if you want to do a two stop or a 1-stop?
So the real simple fact is, you know how long it takes to come to pit road versus how much time you think you're going to make up using the extra set of tires. The risk, I will tell you, the math says pitting twice is a huge advantage, 10 or 11 seconds. But now let's talk about the negatives. The negatives are you're going to be a lap down for a pretty good chunk of that at some point. The other negative is you're going to plan on using both and your last 2 sets of tires. So if there is a caution with 5 to go, you won't have another set of tires, where the leaders that only pit once, they're going to be sitting there with a set of tires in their pit. You know how important tires are here. A late yellow, you're a sitting duck. The question is, does Sam Mayer think he can make it to Phoenix on points? Because if he doesn't, this is the car I believe might pit twice. I think at their point, right now they're minus 34. Whether they go to Martinsville minus 34 or minus 60, I'm not sure it's a big difference. They're probably thinking it's a must-win. I think Taylor Moore is a very creative mind on top of the pit box, but it is hard to be the only guy to call your guy down pit road. We'll see what the one does here in the next handful of laps.
Remember, we saw Justin Allgaier had problems earlier, unwound that tire, had to pit on the green, stayed out, got back on the lead lap, but he's on older tires than everybody else. He's only been able to get to 17th. He's maintaining 17th. This is a team that I think has a decision to make. You know, they just feel like are they going to throw a Hail Mary, or are they going to just play it cool here?
Well, they might have to do it because they're afraid of that right front tire wear. He's coming to the bottom, hand out the window. This looks like a pit stop. Let's see how successful he is at getting it mowed down. This pit road can be easily missed. It's kind of around the corner and hard to see, as you see on the battle on the top between the 21 and the 8. 7 woes it down, hard left-hand turn, coming to pit road. So now the question is, Jason Burdett has drawn a line in the sand. I'm on it. I'm on the 2-stop strategy just as the plans. Let's see who joins them. Kim.
And you watch the 7. They hadn't really decided on the plan. They had the team ready for about 5 laps. Then, just as you guys were talking about it, decided that they were going to split the end of this race, as you see right there. Right side tires going on. Looks like they had a little trouble getting the right front off. Slow stop here for Justin Allgaier as they make a chassis adjustment just a little bit free there. Again, very slow stop for Justin Allgaier under green.
You know what kills great strategy is a slow pit stop. So regardless of how it works out, he's going to need that math of 10 seconds better, because there's definitely an issue with the jack. It seems like on both sides they're kind of holding the jack handle awkwardly. So I don't know if it was a user error, but it looked like an equipment error.
It dropped twice.
Tell. Yeah,
dropped twice on the right side.
Yeah, so let's see. Everything looks normal so far. A little bit to the right, jack up, and then it just okay, so it's happened twice now. So you would think you would have checked the handle tightness as far as, you know, whether it's turned to the right. Front tire changer does a nice job hanging his own tire. But in the end, just a slow stop for the 7 of Allgaier.
So unfortunate for Allgaier, trying a different strategy than everyone else, and on pit road way longer than they were anticipating.
Yeah, it's such a disadvantage. You think about it, at this speed, every second is about 14 car lengths.
Yeah.
So, you know, 14 to 15 car lengths. So he just gave up.
About 60 car lengths is what you're telling me, the front stretch.
You know, I mean, just a front straightaway. So huge disadvantage.
And the 2 missed his stall. Sheldon Creed was on pit road missed his stall, had to back up 2 spots. He still needs to back up further. The nose can't be over the line.
This race spiraled downhill for this 2 car and this team. They just contact with the wall multiple times.
The rubber burning inside the wheel there of the right front for Sheldon Creed. Now we're seeing Austin Hill, playoff driver, making his way onto pit road.
Now this one's going to get everyone's attention. The 7 was kind of back in the pack a little bit, but this 21 of Austin Hill is running inside the top 5. He's come to pit road in front of Dave.
And Steve, other teams are saying we're not quite in our window, so I don't know if this team is in a final stop window or if they're on that 2-stop strategy, so we'll have to wait and see. Kim?
And Brandon Jones will make his stop. We've been complaining about loose entry, loose exit. Just needs way more grip on exit to get the drive off he needs. Going to be 4 tires Sunoco fuel for Brandon Jones, this playoff contender, Marty.
Interesting leader Noah Gragson coming down pit road right now. Look at that contact with the wall that he's had at some point. The Goodyear completely gone on the right side. He said early in the run, I just can't run the bottom. They're going to try and make an adjustment for that. Dominant for the 4th straight race here at Miami. Pit stop for these guys. Can they finish the race off, though? Clearly the best long run speed here today, Dave.
Ty Gibbs told his team the rear got better, but I'm losing front turn. Chris Gale said we have an adjustment for that. There you'll see him get his 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel on the bottom of the screen.
Well, longest green flag run we have had, over 45 laps right now.
You know what I was going to point out, Rick, is 45 laps on this set of tires, but inside 60 to go, Marty. So I think these drivers could run all the way to the end on this set if they chose to.
If they chose to, Steve. Most of these teams do have one more set laying in pit road behind the wall if they need to go to that. AJ Allmendinger's been so good on the long runs. Not quite as good as Noah Gragson, but still very good for his race team. Said the car definitely much free on this run, and a little bit of a slow stop there on the right side, Dave.
Sam Mayer having just a few brake troubles in the 1 car. They won't fix that here, but they'll give him fresh tires and fuel. Just another lap or 2 for Taylor Moyer to feel comfortable getting inside that fuel window. We'll see how close they cut it.
Yeah, a lot of hiccups on pit road. I'm watching the 26's pit stop was slow. You see the 1 leaving right now. The 16 getting by the 31. Oh, the 18.
Speeding.
Oh, cannot be too fast on pit road. A penalty for the 18. This was what it looked like getting to pit road.
Such a difficult pit road to get to. Actually, sliding the left front tire, but got slowed down. We're here in section 9 is where he got caught speeding.
Here comes the 8, Marty.
Yeah, Mike Bumgardner making the call to let Josh Berry run a little bit long here. They actually were thinking about coming early in the window. Then he said, you know what, let's play this out. Let's go a little bit longer than everybody else. The reason being, we talked about how all these teams have another set of Goodyear tires. Well, not the 8. Because of that wall contact earlier on for Josh Berry, this is their last set of sticker tires for the day. The only other options behind the wall, Steve, 1 set that has 32 laps on it and 1 set that has 20 laps on it. Neither of those will really work here at Homestead, Miami, so they're hoping it goes green until the end with 56 to go.
Yeah, and luckily for this team, we can't say it enough. The win last week makes it where, you know, they're going to feel really good about it, even if they do get an unfortunate situation. Look at the 9 of Noah Gragson in traffic.
Yeah. Ryan Sieg in the 39 slowing way down.
All right, listen, Noah Gragson, he had one of these races won here, and there was a crash in front of him. He didn't win. It almost happened again. Watch this right here. Major contact. How in the world did Bailey Curley not wreck that race car with the 23 of Anthony Alfredo right in the back of him? Noah's like, whew, man, that was close.
He didn't feel great about it. He's breathing a little better now that he's working his way by him.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's really what happens. You come to a racetrack, Rick, where you're so good and things go wrong. I really think you start asking yourself, like, all right, what's going to happen this time? You know, what could happen this time? You saw that stack up. While it didn't cost the 9 his race car in a wreck, it did cost him some time, because you see that dark blue number 21 joining the party here. He's going to make a big dive to the bottom. We'll see. He's been running right around the bottom of the racetrack. Remember, the 9 not as good on fresh tires. Let's listen into the 21.
This shake can still vibrate. Don't take a chance here if it gets too bad. The left rear is questionable.
All right, 21 talking about a vibration, and then a little bit of conversation about the left rear perhaps being questionable. Well, if you look at the points, he is instantly tied on the cut line with A.J. Allmendinger. Tough position to be in as a race car driver. What do you do?
And when you hear the report come from your crew chief, questionable on the left rear, immediately what's happened, Steve, is the crew member's gone to the crew chief and said, I think I got it tight, but I'm not 100% sure. So now that vibration that Austin Hill was concerned about, now he's got to monitor it. Is it getting worse? If it starts getting worse, you heard Richard Childress, the car owner, don't take a chance.
Yeah.
So now it all rests on Austin Hill's shoulders to make that decision if it's getting worse to pit or not.
Well, no.
And Jeff, hey, the other thing real quick was that he said I'd had a vibration all day, so then that's hard to decipher as well for the driver and the crew.
It absolutely is. The left rear doesn't surprise me in the choreography of this style pit stop. You know, the rear changes last. He has to chase the car down, comes around. So say he is tightening the 4th or 5th lug nut as they drop the jack, but yet misses them. That's how the left rear could be left loose.
It hasn't slowed him down as he continues to reel in the 9 of Noah Gragson. So Austin Hill holding on to that 2nd spot. Allmendinger 3rd, Landon Castle 4th, and Josh Berry top 5. Now 51 laps to go here in the race at Miami. An opportunity to clinch a spot in the championship 4. It's been a dominant performance already by Noah Gragson. He's been out front for 76 laps today.
And see right here, Noah Gragson, the strength of his car is not, and they've actually gotten worse, in my opinion, on takeoff speed. They had good takeoff speed early. I think it's gotten worse. They're going to have to make sure if they get a late race caution, they can make the adjustment to make this thing fire off. See Trevor Bayne, we know he got penalized. He's trying to come back from a lap down. See how fast his car is? We know how fast he is on takeoff speed. So just a good example of how far off that 9 car is on takeoff speed compared to Trevor Bayne.
Trevor Bayne's trying to unlap himself. If he could get by the 9, that would put him back on the lead lap. Gragson right up against the wall again.
And that 18 is a rocket ship. Right now, as he passes the race leader, he's thinking the what ifs. What ifs I could have just been penalty free.
So after incurring that speeding penalty, now Trevor Bayne has unlapped himself. He's back on the lead lap, but just in front of race leader Noah Gragson. Gragson, the dominant car today, won stage 1, won stage 2, but hasn't won here at Miami.
Approaching less than 50 laps to go here from Homestead Miami Speedway. The 21 of Austin Hill currently running in the 2nd position, but still complaining about issues with this race car, specifically that left rear tire. Interestingly enough, though, the conversation between Austin Hill and crew chief Andy Street was what stood out to me. As you see the 21 of Hill on pit road now, they're going to give it some fuel, go ahead and change all 4 of those tires while he's in, put some fresh tires in. I'll get back on the racetrack. But what I was saying was it was that discussion between crew chief Andy Street and Austin Hill that really stood out to me. Andy was candid with me about Austin's growth throughout the season, and not only his understanding of the race car, but his ability to feel the race car and then relay what he's feeling or the problems that he may be having to his team. And he said that has been the biggest measure of Austin's growth this season. And now here with only 3 races to go, we're very well seeing it on display. Now the problem-solving element that comes with working together and growing as a team, we'll have to see how that works out here today at Homestead.
Next Saturday, NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs will continue with short track racing from Martinsville Speedway. That's right, the paperclip, the final chance to clinch a spot in the championship 4. That race coverage on NBC beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern. Gragson out front, 45 laps remaining. Austin Hill had come to pit road because they had a vibration. Steve, is there any possible way that Austin Hill could still potentially win this race?
Well, if it runs green all the way to the end, he's put on a fresh set of tires. We're going to see how fast a lap time he could run in this 21 car. If everybody else chooses to pit as well, he should have a big gap on them. It really just depends on how this last 44 laps run. Now, the problem is if we have a yellow, the 21 just put on their last fresh set of tires, so then he would be in bad shape.
That is a disappointing problem. They had done a nice job all day long, worked themselves up in the points, and now they had to pit, and that is, you know, maybe they catch a break, right? You just said that's the positive. The negative is they don't catch the break, and they just gave up all those points they worked so hard to get today.
Noah Gragson has a 5-second lead right now over second place A.J. Allmendinger. Josh Berry, after his issues, has battled back to third, but he's 9 seconds behind Gragson. Ty Gibbs 12 seconds. Hemrick also 12 seconds back.
Now we have the 10 of Landon Castle on pit road as well. So you have to ask yourself, is this now putting on their last set of tires a strategy call, or do they also have a loose wheel or an issue on the 10 car? I don't love to see that. A wheel being tightened with the car on the ground. That's always a bit concerning on that right rear.
Yeah, extra time spent. The right rear. We see Allgaier going by the 18 and tagged the wall just moments ago.
He's pushing hard. He's trying to stay in the lead lap. Noah Gragson, the leader, is not far behind him, and this is actually the second time right here that he gets into the wall. He's just pushing hard, trying to stay in front of Noah. There's Noah right there.
Trevor Bayne again unlapped himself. He's the last car on the lead lap, running 13th. Allgaier running in the 12th spot. And Noah Gragson coming quickly.
Well, the 21 of Austin Hill is right behind this 9 of Noah Gragson, trying to unlap himself on those fresh tires.
You know, something's happened to that 18 car. Remember how much, I mean, he drove up there and just passed him, like just drove away from him. And now Noah's running him back down, and the 7 is getting away from the 19. I mean, the 18 rather.
Non-playoff drivers, Daniel Hemrick running 4th. Once again, Chandler Smith, just an incredible day already. He ran the truck series race. Now he's running 6th here in the Xfinity Series race. Stephen Parsons in the 9th position. Nick Sanchez is 10th. All the while, Noah Gragson continuing to run impressive lap times.
Mentioned Chandler Smith. We know A.J. Allmendinger's leaving the Xfinity Series, going to run Cup next year with Kaulig, staying with Kaulig Racing. Chandler Smith, he is going to leave the Truck Series and go drive for Kaulig Racing. So he knows he's got a full-time Xfinity program next year. Good start today, getting some Xfinity experience.
Dave.
So updating the 21 of Austin Hill. No, this is not the race for the lead. He's trying to unlap himself. He has not complained about the vibration since they changed the tires. This is the left rear tire. It is hard to see. There's sometimes when you just see them, they're super egg-shaped, those lug holes, because of the loosening. This is pretty tight, but still the left rear, the team representative told me, was the issue, and now Austin tries to make something out of this afternoon. By the way, the 10 of Landon Castle also reported a bad vibration before he came down pit road, so it was not strategy for the 10.
So now it's just a question of what happens in these next 38 laps. I mean, this 21 car is running, let's see, almost a second faster than the leader. You know, 35 seconds behind, 36 laps to go. I don't think he can run a second faster all the time, but he can recover the day. I mean, he'll be passing the 7 of Allgaier for position here in just a little bit, right in front of him. And then in front of Allgaier, it's the 98 of Herbst, the 48 of Sanchez. So there are still points for the 21 to recover. He's hoping at this point, just run this thing out green. I don't need a yellow. I don't have a fresh set of tires to put on.
There's a lot of points for him to recover. You said it, this is the battle for 12th. He should easily get by Allgaier.
Gibbs and Allmendinger, 29 points for Gibbs. Allmendinger 8 points above the cut line. Won't be safe when they go to Martinsville if the points stay the way they are, especially Allmendinger. But Gibbs at 29 points. At a short track, you never know what could happen.
Well, you mentioned never know what could happen. That's what the 9 of Noah Gragson is thinking, right? A year ago, dominating this race, running the top just like he was this year. And David Starr has an issue, slides up. And when you're in the top and you're committed, this is back in the spring of 21, you see the heavy damage, nowhere for the 9 to go. So this was the only thing that had a chance of stopping the 9 that day. And once again, it just looks like the 9 has the best car in the field, 7-second lead. You can see he's just beside himself. Can't believe it happened. We talked to him during practice at qualifying, loves this racetrack, would not say it owed him anything. He said you're never owed anything by a racetrack, but it feels like he almost deserves a win here. He's so good, he really wants to win here.
And I feel like what we're seeing right now, Steve, is that Noah Gragson smartly has a 7-second lead. And yes, he's on the fence, he's right against the fence, but he's not full capacity right here. There's some speed left in this car. Why find it? Why go get everything there is to get with a 7-second lead? And I think that's what we're seeing with Noah. I think he could be running much faster lap times right now, but why? Why put yourself in that situation?
34 laps remaining here at Miami. Noah Gragson's never won here in the Xfinity Series, looking to change that today.
Quickly coming to a close, and the 9 of Noah Gragson continues to lead the field, almost a 7-second lead over second place Trevor Bayne. But you know, Noah putting on a show, cool, calm, and collected, finding his speed on the high line. He is ripping the fence and has done so all day long, almost making it look easy, but he is so close to that wall, just a foot off of the wall. You really can't put it into perspective just watching it on TV, but fortunately, I was able to talk to Justin Allgaier, and he really laid out just how impressive ripping the fence can be.
Bottom, we were on the middle. A lot of times you have a, 50 to, 20 to 50 foot window that you can miss the corner by, right? And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but when you're running the wall well, you have a 2 to 3 inch margin of error. And what I think a lot of our fans maybe don't understand is when you were running the bottom, you're naturally looking left, right? When we're running an oval, you're turning to the left. You're naturally looking to the left. When you're running the wall and you're turning left, it's hard to maneuver your eyes to the right to see where the wall is at and still be turning left. So I think, peripherally, you have to really have a good understanding of where the right side of the car is. There's just a lot of things that go into it, and unfortunately, when we do hit it, it's gonna be great. But until then, it's gonna be a little bit rough.
Running that high line but not pushing your car too far past what it can do. Essentially, Noah is doing so very well here right now at Homestead. 30 laps to go.
Under 30 laps to go. NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs on USA. It's the Contender Boats 300 from Homestead Miami Speedway. 4 guys below the cut line currently. Allgaier, Austin Hill, Sam Mayer, and Brandon Jones.
Yeah, Allgaier came in above by 15 points. He just hasn't had a very good day. Currently runs in the 12th position. Statistically, his weakest racetrack on the series, and doing his best, but his best today currently has him 8 below.
Sam Mayer trying to get a lot of experience here. Very tough racetrack to come to that you never raced before. Behind in points coming here. He's had a nice solid day, but this team needs more than solid if they're going to advance to the next round of playoffs with a chance to win a championship. They're going to have some magic. Maybe catch a lucky break, get a great restart here. If not, they're going to need to win Martinsville.
Well, the upper right, 21 of Austin Hill, I wonder if he wasn't on his way, maybe not for a win, but a top 2 or 3, had a loose wheel, had to pit. Now, doing a nice job, has driven this thing under green back to the 10th position, but currently with no new sets of tires in the pits. He needs this thing to run the last 28 laps green, and he should be able to hopefully gain a few more of those 9 points he's below back.
Yeah, Brandon Jones, this is a racetrack that he runs really well on, but it just hasn't happened today. They've made the car much better. He really struggled early. Now he's running, you know, in 8th place. Not terrible, but not great. They need better days than this, being down by 32 points.
Those are the 4 drivers below the cut line right now as they run on the racetrack. And again, Noah Gragson dominating over 100 laps now that he has led here in Miami with 27 laps to go.
And I love this part of the race, right? You've been out there for quite some time. You've been running right against the wall, currently in the longest run of the day at 77 laps. Everything's being tested. Your mental fatigue, your physical fatigue. Oh, it's contact between the 21 and the 19. The 21 trying to get to his right rear quarter panel. The 19 squeezed him up. Pretty hard contact between the 2 cars.
It's 45.
We'll see if the damage on the 19 is severe or not. Pretty hard hit to the right side of that car. Let's take another look, Jeff.
And you can see right here, 21 on the outside. Brandon Jones just squeezes him up. Contact. 19 got in the wall. 45, Stephen Parsons taking advantage of it.
Well, then there was some contact just a second ago as well. These 2 right here, the 21 has had enough of the 19. Obviously upset with him, gives him some more of a bumper.
Riley Herbst right there in the 98.
So listen, I understand. If you're Austin Hill, you're upset, you got squeezed in the wall, but you need to recognize the situation. Like, you don't want a caution right here.
You
There's
don't
nothing. With a caution coming out, that does nothing to help you. You need this thing to run green.
Yeah, don't create the caution
no.
to ruin your own day.
He has no more tires left.
Right.
He's got to have this thing to run green, Kim.
That's right, and Brandon Jones, we saw him run that same line yesterday, about half a car from the top lane, and I asked, what's the advantage to that if you don't feel comfortable running the wall? And he said, essentially, I can take away the high line option from guys around him, which we just saw him do to Austin Hill. Now, didn't work favorably for Brandon as he got into the wall a little bit, but he told me, Dave, he could do this before the race even started, is block guys from using that high line.
Kim, Austin Hill was told only the lettering's gone on your right front, you should be fine. And then he was told, make sure to go hard. We need to get as many cars between us and the 7 of Allgaier as we can. And you can see there on the left, 5th and 6th, Allgaier and Hill. Every position that Hill gets opposed to Allgaier is another point.
Goodyear can save a little money not even putting any wording on the right side of these tires. It doesn't last long enough to spend the money on the yellow paint.
You know, I know Noah Gragson is, I think he's just being cool right here, making sure that he doesn't get himself in trouble. But that 19 car, he is, you know, he's 12th place. Like, I'm not so sure you wouldn't be better off just going up there and lapping some of these guys. Riley Herbst in 11th, the 45 of Stephen Parsons having another solid day in 10th. They're all right here in front of Noah Gragson. We know how he's not fast to take off. I think he'd be better off to go ahead and lap these guys, go ahead and put them a lap down. That could benefit him later. Hey, you don't know you have great pit stops.
That's
you don't
right.
know anything, what's good's going to happen. Lap them when you can.
Yeah, bad pit stop, less cars in the lead lap. You can only fall back so far. So you and I are raised in that era, though. There's no games. There's no say lap, lap, lap. You know, there wasn't as many opportunities to get your lap back, Rick. So every car you put a lap down was one you didn't have to deal with later in the race.
It's coming up now on the 27, trying to get by Jeb Burton. Jeb Burton has a hard left turn. That thing got a little loose as Gragson went by him. Now he's set his sights on Brandon Jones.
A little bit earlier, so just keep it in mind.
9 got your. He looks like he's pushing a little bit here, Jeff. Maybe they jumped onto your plan. Let's get them all a lap down while we can.
Never let them up, Steve. Don't let them up.
That's right.
21 laps remaining. Gragson. And only 11 cars, well, 12 counting Jones, on the lead lap. Get a few updates from pit road. We'll start with Marty.
Rick, what a day it's been for A.J. Allmendinger. Second most points earned on a day where he had very little confidence coming into the race. Doesn't feel like Homestead Miami is one of his better racetracks. Right now, +5. However, Martinsville next week is one of his best racetracks, Dave. I know after last week, they made a jump today. I think they'll feel comfortable where they are on the right side of the cut line going into next week.
Marty, for non-playoff driver Daniel Hemrick, you wonder what might have been with runs like today. 4th place now for Hemrick, and he's been in the mix all day long. But remember, round 1 finishes of 30th, 8th, and 17th. That was not enough to get him to advance to this round. So out of the playoffs, the reigning champion putting on a good show here today. Kim?
Chandler Smith, great day for this driver in just his 3rd Xfinity Series start and his first ever weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Currently runs in the 6th position. Told me they had a top 10 car here this weekend. I asked him if he had gotten up near the wall yesterday in practice. He said no. Well, he's greeted the wall finally. He got to the wall, lap 151, did rub the Goodyear off the right rear tire, but otherwise looking good. Great job managing his tires, on par to hopefully get a 6th place finish before he heads to run for a Truck Series Championships in 2 weeks at Phoenix.
And that's Chandler Smith in the 6th position as it heats up here for 2nd. Allmendinger now under fire from Josh Berry. Berry looks to the inside now, and Allmendinger trying to hold him off, but he's staying right up against the wall, and a little bit of a pick here from the 35 of Patrick Emmerling.
Josh Berry taking a page out of Noah Gregson's playbook.
Yeah. Rickus, what is it that, you know, shortest point between 2 points, just a straight line, turn left?
Shortest distance between 2 points, straight line.
Rick, it was a lot of years ago in school when I learned that. I'm glad you cleared that up for me.
Allgaier. Right rear flat for Allgaier.
Oh, yeah, no. Just another, I'm guessing, contact with the wall. It's hard to tell because every right rear here has been contact with the wall. So obviously this hit, now it's just hit too hard. Flat tire, Kim.
Different issue from when he had the right front tire issues. Got into the wall here. Remember, they had a jack malfunction the last time they pit under green, so hoping for the best here. Right side's on. It's going to be left side's on. What a terrible day for this playoff driver, Justin Allgaier, as he's finishing up service under green.
He's going to drop down to at least 18th.
Well, that puts less than 10 cars on the lead lap, which is just amazing. His teammate, the 9 of Noah Gragson, you see the flat tire. Just, you know, pretty confident we know that what happened, right? Contact with the wall, a little bit of a rub, or just you bend a wheel. A lot of different ways for the tire to go flat once it hits the wall.
We've seen it 2 weeks in a row now. Allmendinger a week ago. Now it's Allgaier this week. Guys that you would have expected to be fighting to get into that championship for a title, and having to dig themselves out of issues. And now it's Allgaier's turn. He's 13 points below the cut line.
And you know Noah Gregson's just saying, no caution, please. Seen this picture too many times.
There's a lot of drivers, I think, having that same opinion, right? We have guys out there, you mentioned the 8 doesn't have a set of tires left, the 21 doesn't have a set of tires left. Now what's saving both of them is with this few cars on the lead lap, that even if a caution comes out, that's going to help them quite a bit.
Marty.
Hey, Rick, 15 to go. Noah Gragson trying to earn his way into the championship for the 2nd straight year. And I think we're seeing the maturation of Noah Gragson right before our eyes. Steve, it was 3 months ago, if you'll remember, he was public enemy #1 in the Xfinity Series garage after wrecking Sage Karam intentionally at Road America. He quietly, as best as Noah can, worked his way back, earned respect in the garage area, won races, and now one of the most sought after young men to move up to Cup, which he will do full-time next year. Noah Gragson did a terrific job this year, really putting himself in a good spot. Nick
Sanchez.
48 having a problem. Yeah, Nick Sanchez, Rick.
Nick Sanchez right front is down, and maybe even the right rear for Nick Sanchez.
And we'll just see where this tire rub, where this actually tire carcass goes. If it stays on the race car, it's not a big deal. Now he's on the access road. I think we might be lucky enough that this won't bring out a yellow. This is another replay. It looks like the tire goes down first and into the wall he goes. Oh, now there is a yellow on the racetrack. The 45 of Stephen Parsons having just an amazing day. Big damage on this 45.
Yeah, the back of that car destroyed here as we don't see anything from the deck lid. But the 48 of Nick Sanchez had right side tires that were down.
Yeah, this 28 right here, there's big damage on the right front. I'm having a feeling this in the 45 made some contact. We'll have to try to find it and see.
Stefan was having a good day. Nick Sanchez was having a good day as well. He was running well, had his problem. Kyle Sieg, big right front damage here.
So this sets up a very interesting opportunity because there's 9 cars in the lead lap. If you have a set of tires, you're coming. But the problem for most of the field is the 8 and the 21 who doesn't have tires. Unless they come put cold scuffs on, they're going to stay out and trap a whole bunch of guys a lap down. This whole scoring cycle right here is going to be very interesting. We're going to have to see how it cycles through, but this will be a potential game changer for some cars for sure. And we've talked about the 9 and how his takeoff speed just hasn't been what he had hoped.
There's Stefan Parsons sliding, and already the damage to the rear of that car.
Yeah, there's huge damage, and that's at the end of the straightaway. A very odd place to wreck, so there had to be some sort of contact or an issue.
Nick Sanchez, you see the fire coming out of the right front.
So I think Herbst, the 98 on the lead lap, the 21 and the 8 don't have tires. Yeah, there you go.
So this was a bad break for Austin Hill because he does not have any tires. He can't put tires on. However, there's only 9 cars in the lead lap. So a lot of guys will get the free pass and put a lot back in the lead lap, but they won't be able to pit. So a bad break, but also the caution coming out late helps him if he doesn't get another caution, because if there's another caution, and all those guys that aren't able to pit this time will be able to pit, they'll be back in the lead lap, and now they will be so much faster than Austin Hill.
Well, you see the tire count on the left. Berry, 0. Hill, 0. Herbst, 0. Those are the 3 lead lap cars with none. Now, that doesn't mean they won't come down and put a colder set on if they feel that's their better opportunity, but you have to be careful, because if you do that, everybody 1 lap down will probably stay out and wave around. Next thing you know, there's going to be 20 cars in the lead lap. So, you know, it's going to be it's kind of a little bit of a defensive call also. If you're the 21, you figure you don't have good tires, somebody's going to beat you. And to your point, Jeff, if we have multiple yellows, you're really a sitting duck. So I think you would stay out and play a little defense and avoid the opportunity for some. Now, don't count out that 18, though. He's going to get the free pass. He has great fire-off speed. Now, I don't think he can drive from the back to the front, but a quick yellow, and now he's lined right up with him.
Yeah, his problem is he's the first car lap down, so he will get back in the lead lap, but he has to start behind everybody else. So he won't have an opportunity to drive through the field, but you said it. If he gets a series of cautions, then he'll be there. Who can take the fight to the 9 car? We don't really know. We haven't seen Josh Berry, his takeoff speed. The 9 car's gotten beaten off pit road a couple of times today. He hasn't had the speed to recover from that. Can Allmendinger, who does have short run speed, can his team have a good pit stop? Put him in position and then take advantage of that short run speed. The problem that everybody's got is that Gragson is so far ahead of the 16 of Allmendinger. Can Allmendinger pull up close enough to him? Can Josh Berry pull up close enough to him to enter close to him on pit road? Look at the gap already created.
I like that little insurance. And laps account, winding down. 10 to go. We're going to have pit road open probably with 9 to go. Looking like a restart was 5, 6, maybe 7 to go. So it's going to be a short little sprint. Now, I still want tires. Make no mistake about it. Tires here fall off multiple seconds. New tires are a must if you have them available.
So we'll see who comes to pit road. Again, clean up the racetrack right now when we return to Miami.
Setting up a restart here with 10 laps to go. And as we watch the battle to the finish here, let's take a look back at history and statistics at Homestead, because things could get interesting given that in 7 of the last 10 races here at Homestead Miami Speedway, the pass for the win has come in the final 5 laps, which if we were to see that today would be about on par with this season, because in 7 races so far in 2022, that final pass for the win has come on the final lap. So anything can happen here as we have 10 laps to go at Homestead. This restart is going to be an exciting one.
And now, under 9 laps to go, we're seeing if they will be coming onto pit road now. The 9 of Noah Gragson, race leader on pit road, looking for those fresh tires. And the lead lap cars on their way down pit road, Dave.
And so the 21 of Austin Hill, remember he had to put on his final set early. He will have a used set to put on for the 21. They will be cooler. They will be air pressured to the desire of the crew chief. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs, he has 4 fresh Goodyear tires that he'll be able to put on his Toyota to get him to the end and maybe a race win, Marty.
Dave, you may have seen the nose of Josh Berry's car coming down pit road. They have some damage where they hit debris on the racetrack. We mentioned they don't have a fresh set of tires. The left sides have 18 laps. The right sides have 23 laps. Noah Gragson had a massive advantage coming down pit road. Easily wins the race off pit road to the car. Just way too free. They went down 1 round on the track bar.
As you see the race off of pit road, Josh Berry coming off there in the number 8. And Berry losing about 7 spots. Let's go to the Peacock pit box with KP and Dale Jr. All right, guys, Noah Gragson noticeably has not had short run speed. Can he hold these guys off for this short run at the end of the race?
Well, we've seen it before, and they haven't been able to do it, and I don't know if they've made the changes to make it any different. So that's a big concern for me. What could they do? What can they do? I'm going to lean on a guy like Steve Letarte to tell me some of the adjustments that they have in their pocket this late in the game to be able to help that driver fire off. We've seen this before. They've not been able to make it happen. Who's this open the door up to win this race?
Listen, I don't know. There's only, what, 7, 8, 10 cars in the lead lap. It has opened it up for someone else. But we go back and you say, I'm going to lean on Steve Letarte. Steve, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me today, Steve, to get me back up there for that short-term speed that I need to go back where I belong?
Well, we're going to go to our notes, our qualifying notes. I can't add that grill tape, although I can add a little. The biggest thing is the air pressure, right? I'm putting low air in, knowing I got to run 45 laps. If I only have to run 5 or 6, I'm going way up on air pressure. And if you're too loose to take off, then I'm going to go ahead and blow them up and blow them in a way that snugs the car up. It's a little bit, I'll call it an educated guess. It's something you have worked on before, but there's some guesswork involved.
But one thing that's different on Noah Gragson's team this year is Luke Lambert. So Luke Lambert, new crew chief, he didn't experience all these bad times. He's come in knowing what happened, knowing that they needed short run speed. What has Luke Lambert and Noah Gragson done to prepare for this moment?
The other advantage that Luke has is an Xfinity Series crew chief rarely has the chance to put fresh tires on for a short run. With their tire limitation, most of the time, you just stay out on old tires for the end of the race and hope you get a good restart. In the Cup Series, you know, anywhere you have tire wear, you're going to put tires on for that sprint to the finish. Luke has lived in that other garage. This isn't, you know, his educated guess is a little more educated because he's had a few shots at this on the Sunday car. We'll see if he can make the right adjustments for Noah.
Remember, he put Ryan Newman in a position to almost win a championship here with short run speed at this racetrack. With no wins in the regular season, they almost pulled that off. So you know as well as I do, Steve, that Noah Gragson has been saying to Luke since they first joined, we got to win Homestead. We got to win Homestead. We got to get home. I'm sick of getting beaten down there. They have been preparing for this moment. Let's see if they've made the right calls.
Well, now, the flip story on this, though, is what could this win do for A.J. Allmendinger, who came in here? I just got to get some points on that 7. I just don't want to have to go to Martinsville. I'm good there, but I don't want to have to do it. I mean, we know the 8 is on, and the 9, win or not win, is going to look really good in the points, as long as he just rolls it to the finish. But that 16 car, if he can steal a win away from the 9, what a movement it would be for the 16. Let's listen in.
All right, just gave you a little bump up on air pressure, improved fire off speed. You can do this, man. Just be smart. Copy.
All right, there you go, Steve. Got you some air pressure. Go lean on it. A major advantage in my eyes behind A.J. Allmendinger is his teammate, Daniel Hemric. I don't believe, even if Daniel Hemric gets a huge run on the start, that he's going to make it 3 wide. He's going to give A.J. Allmendinger a little bit of freedom. Don't get me wrong. Hemric's not giving any spots up. But I don't think that he's going to be putting A.J. in a bad spot right here.
Well, and let's just, the 54,
don't count him out.
He could care less about everybody. He's going to go wherever there's asphalt without a car on it, middle, top, get a run. And the other thing is, 5 to go. This isn't a green-white checker. You know, this is 7.5 miles. Doesn't seem very far at a racetrack where you lose chunks of grip every corner. So you're going to have to figure out a way. Trevor Bayne, with all the wave arounds, is only 6 rows back, 5 rows back. So that 18 car is going to be fired off quick. There was 20 cars that waved around.
Here we go.
5-lap shootout to the finish. And again, a championship 4 spot on the line. Noah Gragson back in the gas quickly.
A great launch.
Ty Gibbs in the 54 with momentum, as is the 16. Allmendinger coming as well. Can Noah Gragson run away from these two? Allmendinger on the bottom of the racetrack, making up ground.
He's hoping that 54 can get enough of a run to get side by side with the 16, maybe stall the 16.
Less than 4 laps. Here comes Allmendinger. How aggressive will AJ get as the 9 gets a little sideways coming off of turn 2?
Allmendinger's got to take a shot. Noah with too much entry speed for Allmendinger to do anything with it. Allmendinger's got to have good forward momentum on the exit of one of these corners. He's got to be gaining space on that 9 car, entering the corner. Then he can make an aggressive move.
Now under 3 laps to go. Gragson, Allmendinger, and Gibbs. 1, 2, 3. Trevor Bayne back there in 4th. Gibbs to the bottom of the racetrack. Allmendinger up high. 3 different lines out of the top 3.
Feeling good right now about Noah Gragson in this 9 car. They took off with much better speed. Luke Lambert's done a great job of making the appropriate adjustments to get this car to fire off.
Gragson, Allmendinger, Gibbs, Hemric, and Mayer, the top 5. Mayer, a great run.
That's been a half setter, coming back to the white flag, still by 7.
He needs the points. 29 below the cut line right now for Sam Mayer. Here comes the 54, momentum on the outside, trying to take second away from Allmendinger. 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. Noah Gragson, such incredible numbers here in Miami, but has never been able to finish it and get the win. Now, Gragson with a half a second lead, and sitting in front of him, a championship 4 spot. Gragson heading to the Cup Series in 2023, wants to go out in style and win a championship. A win here in Miami is going to give him a shot with the championship 4. Gragson wins.
Run for a championship. Good job, dude. Yes! Yes! Great job, pit crew. Thank you, Johnny Morris. Rusty, Bass Pro Shop, your timber. Black Ram.
That is the 8th win already for Noah Gragson in 2022, and maybe the most important one up to this point. He now has a guaranteed spot in the championship 4 and will race for a championship.
Those are the moments that Noah Gragson has become prepared for. The experience that he's gained in the Xfinity Series, the ups and downs have prepared him for this, and that's why you bring Luke Lambert into this team, for those types of moments, to make the appropriate changes, to give Noah Gragson the car that he needs. That's a great pairing right there, those two working together.
Make sure you breathe, homie.
Make sure you breathe.
Noah Gragson has gotten a little bit excited after winning races. And now he heads back by the front stretch here at Homestead Miami Speedway, acknowledging the fans. This team has climbed the fence. They have celebrated in style all year long. "13 career wins for Noah Gragson. And what a restart Gragson had to win this race. All race long, it seems as though the setup in the car was for the longer runs. He always fought back, was able to get out front, but it took him quite a few laps to do it after restarts. Well, in the final restart, he didn't have time. He went out and put on a show. Noah Gragson led 127 laps today, and the most important one, he gets his first Miami Xfinity Series win. Climbing around on the top of the car, and crew member brings him down, and Marty's down there with him.
After 3 dominant years here at Homestead Miami, finally Noah Gragson finds victory lane, and what a key day to do it. Welcome to the championship for Noah Gragson. 2 JRM cars now in there. Luke Lambert with the call at the end of the race, and Noah taking this one in. This one means a lot. Let him get his helmet off, let him get a breath here. Boy, Noah, is there any racetrack you wanted to win more than Homestead Miami?
They just kicked their ass, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I wanted this one so bad. Last 3 years, just words can't describe how thankful I am for everybody at Junior Motorsports. Just unbelievable. Thank you, Bass Pro Shops, and man, I'm worn out.
I'm sure you are, but now to race for a championship with this race team and another win on the season, Noah, are you guys now that you're in the championship favorites?
That's for you to say.
How do you feel about the shot at Phoenix where you won in the spring, Noah?
I was driving my ass off there, threw him up on the dash, and takes a lot of focus to run the fence like that, and pit crew did a great job. Just really grateful, man. I'm worn out right now.
There you go, Noah Gragson worn out, but he did it. He's in the championship 4, and finally, Miami fans, he wins in front of you, Dave.
Marty, Ty Gibbs was second today, and Ty, hard to beat the 9 here today. How close were you?
Yeah, we were just battling our race car, I feel like, all day. a little bit out of the track, and we made great adjustments, and my guys never gave up. So, thank you to my whole Monster Energy Toyota GR Super 54 group, and we'll move on to Martinsville. I feel like that's a place we were really fast at earlier this year, and probably had a shot to win it. So, I'm excited to go back there. Thank you to Norman Interstate Batteries and Mitch Covington, David Gallen, Rodney Sachs, all the guys that work at Monster. Thank you so much for all they do, and thank you for allowing me to be here.
This was race day 1 for you at this racetrack. How do you feel like you progressed?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I need to drink a Monster Energy after this. I'm a little worked. We were just battling all day, and I feel like you just kind of give it your all here. This place is pretty tough. I feel like we were battling the car a little bit, so it just made it that much harder. So come out with a P2 finish is, I feel like, pretty good, and we're plus 30, so I think that's really strong.
I'm going to say it's not a lock yet, but plus 30 going to Martinsville. How does that make you feel?
Really good. I'm excited for that, so we'll go hammer down.
All right, hammer down for the 54. Kim, how's it on the other side there?
Well, AJ Allmendinger finished 3rd. He got out of the car and he told me he feels like this is the best race he's ever run in general for Kaulig. Why?
Because the way I felt about myself going into this race, about ripping the top, and just the struggles I put on myself trying to carry us. I didn't feel good after yesterday about how I was driving this racetrack. Even this morning in Cup practice, we had a fast Cup car, and I was really mad. It just felt like I was letting us down, but I got up there. It helps follow Noah a lot. He's really good ripping the top. Congrats to him, but really proud of everybody at Kaulig Racing. Our Action Industry Chevy was pretty damn good. It was probably still better than the driver, but overall we made up a lot of points here, and we at least have a shot now in Martinsville.
Late race restart, you had fresh tires. Could you have done anything differently? I know you said you were kind of watching Noah.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get under him a couple of times. We were just, I felt like we were already loose the whole night. Track felt like it was freeing up, and that last restart I was really loose. I thought maybe I could get under him and at least get a shot, but after a couple laps I was starting to really slide around. So I didn't want to get Ty around me. That's another point we were going to lose, but how the night was going, I just wanted a solid top 5 finish, and like I said, go to Martinsville, a great racetrack, and I think that by my unofficial calculations in my head, we should at least be 4th in points, so we got a chance.
Your calculations are right. You'll head into Martinsville 4th on the board, plus 5 on the playoff standings.
We saw Noah Gragson climb the fence, but you also see an exhausted Noah Gragson. Didn't get very far up the fence, as he will be headed to the Ruoff Victory Lane here in just a moment. Bring the car over there and celebrate with the team. But Noah Gragson, what a day. He hadn't won here at Miami before, but this one so important. A shot at the championship 4. Noah Gragson, after leading 127 laps, it ended up being a sprint to the finish, which he wasn't good at during the middle part of the race, but he perfected it at the end. A great restart carried him all the way to Victory Lane here at Miami.
.300 miles complete here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Noah Gragson, your winner this evening, his 8th win of the season, and with that win, he locks in a spot in the championship 4 at Phoenix. When you take a look at that top 10 finishers, though, the 26 behind me of Chandler Smith, a full-time driver in the Truck Series. He raced for the very first time here today at Homestead. He started the day in his full-time ride in trucks, finished in the 10th position, locked himself into the championship 4 at Phoenix, got out of the car, hopped into this 26, and brought it home in 7th. Strong day for the young driver.
Two drivers have now won their way into the championship 4. Last week, it was Josh Berry at Vegas, and tonight it is the 9 of Noah Gragson. With his win here, he is in the championship 4. And so a great battle building as we go to Martinsville next week. A.J. Allmendinger and Justin Allgaier separated by just 5 points. Remember, a point of position, that's 5 positions on the racetrack.
Well, let's not sleep on that 21 of Austin Hill, only a couple points behind that because he's really showed up at the end. He had a great car today. A loose wheel cost him a few points, but we have a real heavyweight battle next week at Martinsville. It's going to be exciting. Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, mathematically might be able to still get there, but I think they have to be thinking must win. And Ty Gibbs, it's kind of an awkward spot, I won't lie. Plus 30, Jeff, right? So you should be okay, but so many shoulds can evaporate quickly.
Qualify well and get stage points in stage 1, you'll be a lot better. Don't sleep on Brandon Jones, a winner at Martinsville. He could go in there and win that race, and then think about the point battle between Allmendinger, Allgaier, and Hill. That makes that point battle incredibly tight. So, listen, anything can happen. We've seen it happen. We see it happen. 1 point makes such a major difference. So, Martinsville is not the kind of place you want to go into without knowing you're in the next round.
You mentioned 1 point makes such a big difference, and Allgaier had been running in the mid-pack pretty much all day long, but ends up finishing in 10th. He's now standing by with Kim.
That's right, Rick. A 10th place finish, but not without its challenges. You had right front tire issues, right rear tire issue, jack issue during a stop. Just kind of sum up this day for you and this team.
I'm glad it's over. First of all, hats off to the 9 team. Obviously, that was they've had the best car here the last couple of years, and to finally get the win was a big deal. You know, our team, it definitely had some adversity tonight. You know, the only saving grace, I think, was there was about a 70-lap run there where, you know, we were able to drive away from the 9 actually and you know, keep on the lead lap or tail end of the lead lap. And I felt like, you know, we definitely made good stride over the course of the day to get our Brandt Foundation Camaro up where we needed to be, and just, you know, the jack really, I think, hurt us the most. You know, that green flag stop, just losing all that truck position. And I just tried to push it as hard as I could to get back up there. And, you know, ultimately it worked out. We got back on the lead lap and we were able to score some points there. But, you know, we can go to Martinsville. We're below the cut. We can go there and we can lay it on the line. And, you know, 5 points is nothing. And we can go there and have a good weekend. We'll lock our way into Phoenix.
Lay it all on the line. What does that mean exactly, and how aggressive can you be at Martinsville?
I mean, I think you got to go for it. You know, I think that when it comes to Martinsville, you know, we've seen it both ways. It's either ultra aggressive or it's very calm. If it stays calm, I think we have the car and the speed to go there and you know, try to win the race. But if it gets aggressive, I think, you know, we're in a spot where I think because we're out, we can maybe not just roll over, you know. So we'll see what happens. But, you know, proud of our team, proud of the effort, proud of the comeback, and we'll move on to next week.
They move on to the next week, Dave. We'll see what this 7 team can do at Martinsville.
Sam Mayer is 5th today, Kim, and we knew from the talk today, from everything we've talked about, winning is the thing that you really needed today, Sam. How close were you? What did you need more of?
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's all about next week. I'll see you in Martinsville. Our accelerated Chevy Camaro was really good today, but I know we're going to be really good next week too, so I'm just already looking forward to that.
I feel like you want to move on away from this. Was it torturous today knowing that you didn't have a winning car?
I mean, it's tough because we were really good to start and we didn't have track position because our short run speed wasn't really that great. But as we got ripping the fence and going to the top, our car really came to life, and we lost so much track position at the start of a run that we would gain ground at the end, but it would never be enough to really get back up there. But all in all, I'm super proud of this team. The fact that I've never been here before and finished in the top 5 my first time here, I'm more than happy.
That says a lot about Sam Mayer. Tough day today for him as far as the wins go, but he'll move on to Martinsville, like he says, and there he's been very good. Kim?
A little bit of a tough day for Brandon Jones. Finishes 15th at a track that typically is very good for you. What were you dealing with out there, and what did the car need?
I think we were dealing with stuff we can't fix during the race. We just don't have enough tools to sometimes, you know, change the outcome and do different things to our Supers. So big thanks to Menards and Jellywin. I expected way more for those guys. Thought we were really going to have a Super that was going to contend for the race there and be able to win. And just kind of from the drop of the green flag wasn't that great. I don't know if got put in some aero situations that we just never really had in practice or what. But I have some things maybe to go back and debrief with the guys, and maybe they can make their stuff go, you know, going forward a little bit better there and help them out in the future. So looking forward to next week. I don't think that next week is really an aero-dependent racetrack. It's a very mechanically built-in racetrack, and one of those that just kind of relies on you being aggressive the entire day, and that's all we're going to have to go do next week is try to be really aggressive and try to go win the race. There's no point trying to go for points, I don't think, next week.
Yeah, minus 38 on the points, but you are the defending Martinsville winner. You won earlier this year. if you do what you did in the spring, can you win next weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I know the conditions are going to be a little bit different. It's not a night race, maybe, and some things are going to change. But I think the core is still there. It's all the same pieces that we're going to bring to the racetrack. It's all the things that I was doing really good at during the race that's going to help us. So I feel like this race team's got plenty of confidence going into next week. We qualified great for this race, and so I think we're going to have a good pit selection. So there are some things that we can take away and try to make a positive out of it.
And finally, a little run-in with the 21 of Austin Hill here on the racetrack, and then saw a conversation after you guys got out of the car. What was the issue, and what was the conversation like between the two of you?
Yeah, I wanted to just get up to him as soon as I could and just kind of put it into it and just say, hey, it wasn't my doing. I don't think it was really any of our doing. I think that he got such a great run, and like I said, I can't see behind me, so it's really difficult for me to really say. But I think he just got such a big run that it threw Drew off on the roof a little bit and wasn't able to quite get there on the radio. And so as I'm in just a terrible slide, I get up into him because he's got such a great run, and it looks terrible on my end because it looks like I tried to chop him and kill his run. But that was definitely not the intention of it. Always raced Austin with a lot of respect and always really good racing him. So I try to get to him and explain that as quick as I could. So going forward, I feel like we're going to be good.
That's Brandon Jones' side. Let's get Dave, who's standing by with Austin Hill.
Yeah, Kim Austin's standing by, and he watched the incident back again. And obviously, Brandon's already talked to you, and your great run and possibly their inability to time that just right. Got it right there. Is it a racing incident?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he told me the spotter didn't tell him I was there. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was all the way to his right rear quarter. So I was trying to back out of it because I saw that he was coming up. And that just kind of amplified my anger a little bit because I was already mad that I had a loose wheel and was battling for the lead there with a 9. And felt like we got our car better, so who knows if we would have had a shot at it. So, yeah, I mean, I just showed my frustration, then went on and ran. So, Brandon and I, we race really clean together, and we haven't had any issues. So I don't expect anything to carry over or anything like that. We talked about it, and everything's good, but just a frustrating day. Just ran inside the top 5, all day long, and thought we had a shot at it. I had a really good short run speed, just needed a little more long run speed, needed some drive off the corner. It was really hard to put throttle down on exit, especially when I was running a wall off of 4 there without spinning the tires real bad. So, but it was fun. I had a blast here at Homestead. I wish we ran here all the time. I wish we ran here, 4 or 5 times every year. So we got a notebook to build on for next year, and we'll go on to Martinsville, and hopefully we can either point our way in or win.